Close your eyes and let the world outside these thick, ancient stone walls simply fade into nothingness. There is no modern hum here, no mechanical rush, and none of the sharp, jagged edges of the life you left behind. Instead, there is only the scent, intoxicating, peppery, and deeply earthy, of crushed olives filling the cool, subterranean air of a Tuscan farmhouse in the year 1340. You are standing in the heart of a sanctuary, a place built by hands that have long since returned to the soil, where the only thing that matters is the rhythm of the harvest. The autumn chill has settled over the rolling hills of Tuscany, but inside this cellar you are shielded by stone walls so massive they seem to hold the very silence of the centuries within them. The air is cool and crisp, yet there is a profound, cozy warmth to the atmosphere, a sense of safety that wraps around you like a heavy woolen cloak. Here the bounty of the earth is being collected, and the process is as steady and inevitable as the turning of the seasons. As you stand in the soft amber glow cast by a few flickering oil lamps, watch how the light dances against the ancient stone arches, creating long, peaceful shadows that stretch and sway with the gentle movement of the flames. Every shadow tells a story of survival, of patience, and of the quiet, unyielding strength of the people who tended these lands long before the maps of the world looked the way they do today. You are here to witness a transformation. Before you, a worker, a person of few words and steady hands, leans into a heavy wooden laver. You can see the strength in their shoulders, the way they move with a fluid, practiced grace that speaks of generations of knowledge passed down through blood and sweat. There is no hurry in 1340, there is no such thing as being late. There is only the harvest, the pressing, and the oil. As the lever turns, the woven mats, packed tight with the pulp of the olive harvest, begin to yield their treasure. This is a moment of pure, unadulterated comfort. It is the rhythmic cadence of life itself, a slow hypnotic movement that lulls the senses into a state of total peace. You do not need to do anything here. You are not required to solve problems, make decisions, or carry the weight of your day. You are simply a witness to the golden bounty of the earth as it transforms from the fruit of the tree into the liquid gold that will sustain a family through the coming winter. Notice the texture of the air, thick with the scent of crushed fruit. Feel the coolness of the cellar on your skin. Notice how your breathing has naturally begun to sync with the steady, patient movement of the wooden press. You are in a space where time has lost its ability to cut, to bite, or to demand. This is the luxury of the slow, the quiet, and the real. As you stand in the silence, listening to the subtle musical sounds of the press working in harmony with the stone, feel yourself drifting deeper into a state of absolute unburdened relaxation. We are going to remain here for a long time, held within these walls, away from the noise and the light of the outside world. Let the story of this oil and the story of this room cradle you. The olives have been harvested from the silver-leafed groves that cling to the hillsides under the watchful eyes of the stone towers. They were gathered by hand, one by one, under the pale, watery sun of the Tuscan autumn. Now they have been brought into this cool, dark sanctuary to be pressed. Every action taken here is a preservation of life. The oil is the lifeblood of the farm, the light for their lamps, the richness in their bread, and the comfort in their bellies when the winter frost bites at the doors. Take a deep, slow breath and let the scent fill your lungs. Imagine the taste of the fresh, peppery oil, rich, fruity, and vibrant, a reminder that even in the cooling year there is vitality. You are safe here, you are steady, you are present. The walls are thick, the world is distant, and the only thing that exists is this singular, repetitive, and deeply comforting moment of the harvest. Let yourself sink into the stone floor. Let your muscles soften and allow the weight of your body to be supported by the history of this place. We are moving slowly now, deeper into the cellar, where the quiet is even more profound, and the glow of the lamps offers a sanctuary for your mind to finally truly rest. As we continue to observe the quiet industry of this Tuscan cellar, allow your senses to become even more attuned to the environment around you. The stone walls, crafted from local limestone and granite, have absorbed the coolness of the earth over the centuries. They act as a natural temperature regulator, keeping the interior climate perfectly stable, regardless of the turbulent weather unfolding on the hillsides above. This is the very definition of a sanctuary. There is a permanence here that is increasingly rare in our own time. These stones were set with the intention of lasting for generations, and they have fulfilled that promise, standing as silent witnesses to the cycle of the olive harvest year after year, century after century. Consider the journey of the olives themselves before they reached this press. They grew on ancient trees with gnarled, twisted trunks that look like sculptures carved by the wind and rain. In 1340, these trees were already old, some having seen the rise and fall of empires, others having survived countless winters. The harvest is a communal effort, a time when the entire farmhouse population turns toward the groves. The air during the harvest days was filled with the sounds of laughter, the rustle of leaves, and the rhythmic striking of branches with long wooden poles to knock the fruit down into waiting cloths spread upon the grass. Now, that chaos of the harvest has been replaced by this, the intentional silence of the pressing room. The worker standing by the press is not merely performing a task, they are practicing a craft that links them to the ancestors who first built this farmhouse. The wooden lever, worn smooth by the grip of countless hands over the decades, is a testament to the continuity of life in this region. You might notice the grain of the wood, the way the dark, polished surface reflects the soft amber light of the lamps. It is an honest tool, one that requires physical effort and rhythmic focus. There is a profound dignity in this labor. It is not designed for speed or efficiency in the modern sense. It is designed for quality and harmony. It is a process that refuses to be rushed, demanding a pace that naturally aligns with the beating of a human heart. Notice how the shadows shift as the worker moves. They are long and graceful, dancing against the arched ceiling with a life of their own. These shadows are a gift. They soften the harshness of the architecture, turning the cellar into a space that feels womb-like and protective. You are invited to let your eyes follow the movement of the light as it plays across the stones. If you find your mind wandering toward the tasks or stresses of your own life, simply bring your focus back to the light. Watch it catch on the edges of the terracotta jars. Observe the way it illuminates the dust motes as they float lazily in the air. This is your anchor. This is where you belong for now. The scent of the olives is ever present, a constant companion in this room. It is a complex aroma, part fruit, part herb, with a sharp, peppery finish that tickles the back of your throat. It is the scent of potential. When you breathe it in, imagine it cleansing your mind of the clutter of the day. With every exhale, release the tension held in your shoulders, your jaw, and your neck. You are becoming part of the stillness of the farm. The thick walls insulate you from the concerns of 1340, just as they protect you from the concerns of 2026. Everything that exists outside these walls is secondary to the peace you're experiencing right now. Think about the architecture of the farmhouse for a moment. It is built to be a fortress, a symbol of resilience in a landscape that was often defined by conflict and uncertainty. Yet inside this cellar, that strength is repurposed for the gentle art of sustenance. The same walls that protect against outside threats also protect the delicate process of making oil. There is a beautiful irony here. The strength of the building is what allows for such extreme gentleness within. You can lean into that strength. Feel the solidity of the earth beneath you, the grounding presence of the stone, and the unwavering consistency of the process. As you lean back into the atmosphere of the room, notice the absence of light from the outside. There are no windows here, no distractions from the moon or the stars. The only illumination comes from the lamps, which are fed by the very oil that is being produced in this room. It is a self-sustaining cycle, a closed loop of light and life. This cycle is what keeps the farmhouse alive through the long, dark winter nights. It is a quiet, powerful magic. You are witnessing the creation of that light. Every drop of oil that falls into the jar is a tiny victory against the darkness. Let the rhythm of the workers' movements become your own internal rhythm. When they pull on the lever, imagine your own energy gathering to meet the task. When they relax their hold, imagine your own body letting go of all resistance. There is no need for perfection here. The oil will be pressed regardless of whether your mind is perfectly clear or still swirling with thoughts. But the more you surrender to this rhythm, the more you will find yourself slipping into a deep, restful state. This is the goal of the evening: to be here, to be still, and to be profoundly at peace. The olive press is a machine of tranquility. It doesn't ask for your opinion, your history, or your plans for tomorrow. It only asks that you be present. As we drift deeper into this experience, consider the history stored in these walls. How many people have stood in this exact spot, watching the same process, illuminated by the same warm glow? You are part of a long, unbroken lineage of people who have found comfort in the simple, necessary labors of the earth. You are connected to the soil, to the trees, and to the quiet cycle of the seasons. This connection is your birthright, a foundational truth that often gets buried under the noise of the modern world. Here, it is unearthed, polished, and presented to you in the form of a quiet, golden hour. Let it settle into your heart. Let the peace of the Tuscan farmhouse become your own peace, a reservoir you can return to whenever the world feels too loud or too fast. We are just beginning our stay in this sanctuary, and the night is young, long, and full of gentle potential. In the quiet, subterranean depths of this Tuscan farmhouse, the passage of time is measured not by the ticking of a clock or the movement of the sun across the sky, but by the slow, deliberate accumulation of oil in the terracotta jars. The room feels as though it exists outside of the normal flow of events here. The year 1340 is not a distant point in history, but a living, breathing reality. The thick stone walls, cold and damp to the touch, act as a barrier against the complexities of the outside world, creating an environment where the only priority is the preservation of the harvest. You are nestled within this space, safe and sound, as the rhythmic labor continues around you. Take a moment to fully appreciate the craftsmanship of the press itself. It is a massive, formidable structure made of dark, aged oak that has been polished by decades of use. The wood carries the scent of the forest mingled with the sharp, peppery aroma of the olives being crushed between the heavy plates. When the worker applies pressure, the wood groans, a low, deep sound that resonates through the floorboards and vibrates through the very foundation of the building. This sound is not intrusive. Rather, it is a grounding influence, a reminder of the physical connection between the tool, the fruit, and the earth. It is a symphony of natural materials working in concert to create something of immense value. The worker moves with a deliberate, unhurried pace, as if they are performing a sacred ritual rather than a mundane chore. Their hands, calloused and strong, guide the lever with a level of precision that can only come from years of repetition. They understand that the quality of the oil depends entirely on the patience of the process. If they were to rush, if they were to force the fruit too quickly, the oil would lose its delicate balance, its vibrant color, and its unique flavor profile. By choosing to move slowly, they are honoring the tree, the harvest, and the eventual consumption of the oil. This in itself is a profound lesson in mindfulness. It teaches us that the way we approach our work is just as important as the outcome. As you watch, allow your mind to wander through the history of this place. Imagine the families who have lived and worked within these stone walls for generations. Think of the long winters they endured, the warmth they found in their hearths, and the way they relied on the harvest to see them through the darkest months of the year. The oil was their lifeline, their source of light and sustenance. Every bottle that left this room was a promise of survival and a celebration of the land's generosity. By being here, you are participating in this history, connecting with the resilience and endurance of the people who shaped this landscape long before we ever arrived. The lighting in the room remains dim, provided by the soft golden glow of oil lamps placed strategically around the press. These lamps create a cocoon of warmth in an otherwise cool and cavernous space. The play of light and shadow on the stone walls is mesmerizing, creating patterns that change with every flicker of the flame. It is a visual representation of the dance between light and dark, presence and absence, effort and rest. As you observe these patterns, let your focus drift in and out, allowing your eyes to soften and your mind to relax. There is no need to analyze or interpret what you see. Simply allow the imagery to wash over you, providing a backdrop for your own quiet reflections. Consider the physical sensation of being here. The air is slightly chilled, which makes the warmth of your own body feel more pronounced. You might feel the weight of the stone floor beneath your feet, anchoring you to the earth. The silence, broken only by the occasional groan of the wooden press, is heavy and thick, creating a sense of solitude that is both rare and deeply restorative. In our modern lives, we are constantly bombarded with noise and stimulation, often losing touch with the quiet spaces within ourselves. This farmhouse serves as a reminder that we all have such a space, a place where we can retreat to recharge and reconnect with our essential selves. The scent of the olives continues to fill the room, grounding you in the present moment. It is an honest, unpretentious smell, a reminder of the simple, elemental nature of existence. There is no artifice here, no pretense, and no demand for anything other than your presence. You are allowed to simply be, to witness the quiet unfolding of the harvest, and to find comfort in the steady rhythmic progression of the work. As you breathe in the scent, let it fill your senses and soothe your mind, calming any lingering thoughts or worries. You are exactly where you need to be, surrounded by the wisdom of the past and the simple, enduring beauty of the earth. Think about the importance of such spaces in our lives. We need places that slow us down, that remind us of the value of patience and the beauty of the slow, methodical process. Whether it is a quiet room, a walk in the woods, or a moment of reflection at the end of the day, these spaces are essential for our emotional and mental well-being. They provide us with a sense of perspective, reminding us that there is a bigger picture, a larger cycle of which we are a part. By embracing the quiet of this farmhouse, you are nurturing that part of yourself that craves peace, stillness, and a deeper connection to the world around you. As the worker continues their work, notice how the atmosphere in the room seems to settle even further into a state of tranquility. The initial curiosity about the process gives way to a deeper, more profound sense of belonging. You are no longer just an observer, you are an integral part of this scene, a silent participant in the age-old tradition of the harvest. Feel the weight of the history around you, the steady pulse of the farmhouse, and the gentle golden warmth of the oil as it makes its way into the world. You are held safe and entirely at peace within these walls. The night continues to unfold, holding you in its gentle embrace as the quiet industry of the olive press carries on, a testament to the enduring power of the land and the simple, profound beauty of a life lived in harmony with the seasons. Let this sense of peace permeate your entire being, allowing you to drift deeper into a state of rest, knowing that in this sanctuary, time holds no sway and only the present moment remains, rich and full and deeply fundamentally good. The stillness within the subterranean walls of the Tuscan farmhouse is so profound that you can begin to hear the subtle shifts in the air currents, moved only by the gentle heat radiating from the small oil lamps. It is as if the room itself is breathing, a slow, deep intake of cool night air, followed by an equally steady release of warmth. You have journeyed deep into this sanctuary, past the thresholds of the modern world, and now you find yourself perfectly positioned in a state of deep, restorative rest. The rhythm of the olive press has become the metronome of your own consciousness, steadying your thoughts and smoothing out the jagged edges of the day's activities. If you find your mind drifting, simply acknowledge the thought and let it pass, like a shadow moving across the stone wall. There is nothing to hold on to here, no responsibility to uphold, and no future to plan for. The history of this farmhouse, with its centuries of layered experiences, serves as a solid foundation for your current peace. These stones have seen storms and sunshine, joy and sorrow, and yet they remain, offering this quiet shelter to you. You are part of an unbroken line of people who have sought refuge in the simple, honest work of the land. It is a comforting thought, a reminder that you are not alone in your need for rest, and that this need is as natural as the turning of the seasons themselves. Now, as the worker adjusts the position of the woven mats, the aroma of the olives deepens, becoming richer and more complex. It is a scent that speaks of the Tuscan soil, of the mineral content of the hills, and of the specific microclimate that makes this region's oil so prized. This is the essence of the harvest, distilled into a form that can be stored and shared. As you breathe, imagine this scent as a soothing balm, settling over your senses and clearing away any lingering traces of tension. Each breath you take is a deliberate act of choosing peace over chaos, stillness over movement. You are nourishing your spirit with the same care that the farmer gives to the fruit. We invite you to deepen this experience even further by engaging more fully with the narrative of our shared history. If you have found yourself drifting toward a state of profound calm, consider becoming a part of our community. Sleepy History with Theodore is dedicated to bringing these moments of historical tranquility to those who need them most. We invite you to subscribe or follow our channel to ensure that you never miss an opportunity to step away from the noise and into the quiet. Your support allows us to continue crafting these sanctuaries for the mind, bringing inspiration and deep, restful storytelling to listeners like you. By joining us, you are helping to keep these stories alive, ensuring that the peace of the past remains accessible to anyone who seeks it in the future. The worker now steps back from the press, allowing the weight of the apparatus to do the work. It is a moment of trust, the realization that sometimes the most effective thing we can do is to set things in motion and then step back to let them unfold according to their own internal logic. There is a great wisdom in this. We often feel that we must constantly intervene, constantly monitor, and constantly labor to ensure that things turn out correctly. But the olive press teaches us that there is a time for exertion and a time for patience. The gravity, the pressure, and the natural properties of the olives will do what they need to do, provided we give them the time and the space to do it. Apply this lesson to your own life as you rest here. Allow your own concerns to settle. Trust that the work you have done today, this week, or this year is enough. There is a natural momentum to life that carries us forward, and sometimes the best way to move is to simply stop fighting the current and float. The shadows in the corner of the room have lengthened, but they are not ominous. They are simply the natural result of the light finding its place. In the same way, the difficulties in your life are often just the result of where you're standing in relation to the light. Shift your perspective, embrace the quiet, and you will find that the darkness is actually a space of deep rest and potential renewal. The floor is cool beneath your feet, a constant grounding sensation that anchors you to the earth. You can feel the weight of the building, the way it rests securely in the hillside, undisturbed by the movements of the world outside. This structural integrity is a reflection of the emotional integrity you're cultivating within yourself right now. You are building a fortress of peace, one breath at a time, one moment of stillness at a time. The oil continues to flow, a testament to the fact that something beautiful and valuable can be produced even in the quietest, darkest corners of our experience. As you linger here, the sounds of the farmhouse begin to take on a musical quality. The creak of the wooden beam, the soft shifting of the olives under pressure, and the muffled sound of the wind far above the cellar all contribute to a soothing composition. It is a lullaby of the harvest designed to guide you into a state of deep, dreamless rest. There is no urgency to leave this place. There is no clock that you need to watch. The night is a vast open expanse of time, and you are free to occupy it as you wish. Let the warmth of the oil lamp represent the warmth of your own inner resolve. Even when the world feels cool or uncertain, you carry a light within you. You have the capacity to generate your own warmth, your own clarity, and your own comfort. This is the truth of the farmhouse, and it is the truth of your own life. As we continue to sit here in the quiet, let that realization sink into your bones. You are enough, you are safe, and you are exactly where you need to be. The olive oil represents the essence of life, and you're drinking in that essence with every breath, filling your reserves, replenishing your spirit, and preparing for the new day with a renewed sense of purpose and a profound, unshakable peace. The atmosphere within the stone room has shifted from a place of active labor to one of deep, meditative suspension. The work of pressing is a process that demands a significant amount of time, and the farmhouse inhabitants have learned to embrace this waiting period as an opportunity for stillness. You too can embrace this interval. The air, enriched by the scent of the fruit, feels heavy and velvet soft against your skin. This is a sanctuary where the hustle of the world is not just ignored but rendered entirely impossible. The stone walls act as a boundary, a protective perimeter that preserves the integrity of your inner state. Everything outside, the political shifts of 1340, the harvest quotas, The changing of the seasons is now a distant echo that holds no power over your current peace. Consider the texture of the stone surrounding you. It is porous yet incredibly dense, bearing the marks of chisel and time. If you were to run your fingers along the surfaces, you would feel the history of the hands that placed these stones together. They were building a legacy, a structure that would endure long after their own names were forgotten. There is a profound sense of continuity here. When you sit in this room, you're sitting in the same space that others have occupied for centuries. This connection creates a sense of belonging that transcends individual identity. You are part of a narrative that is much larger than your own immediate experience. This realization can be incredibly grounding, allowing you to let go of the ego-driven need to be productive or significant in the modern sense. Here, significance is found in the simple act of existing, of breathing, and of participating in the cycle of life. The oil lamps have burned low, their flames dancing with a rhythmic, hypnotic intensity. They cast light that is not meant to reveal but to soften. The sharp edges of the furniture, the heavy timber beams, and the rough-hewn stone are all bathed in a warm amber glow that suggests comfort rather than clarity. This is the light of the interior life, the illumination that we cultivate when we turn our attention inward. As the light flickers, let your focus follow the movement. It is a slow, pulsing rhythm that matches the natural frequency of a relaxed mind. By focusing on this dance of light, you are essentially signaling to your nervous system that it is safe to descend into a state of profound rest. Reflect on the nature of the harvest. It is a time of gathering, of bringing in the bounty that has been nurtured throughout the spring and summer. It is the culmination of a year's worth of effort, a moment to take stock and prepare for the quietude of winter. In your own life, you have your own harvests. Perhaps they are the skills you have learned, the relationships you have nurtured, or the wisdom you have gained through experience. Taking the time to sit in a space like this allows you to appreciate those harvests. It provides a container for reflection, a place where you can look back on what you have gathered and feel a sense of gratitude for the abundance in your life. This gratitude is the key to deep, restorative rest. It transforms the feeling of having done enough into a feeling of being enough. The coolness of the cellar is particularly soothing now. It acts as a counterpoint to the warmth of your own thoughts, creating a sensory balance that is perfectly conducive to drifting off. Imagine the cool air as a physical presence, gently pressing against your skin and encouraging your muscles to release their hold. Start at your toes, feel them relax, becoming loose and heavy against the floor. Let that relaxation travel up your calves, your thighs, your torso, and into your arms and hands. Notice how your jaw, often a site of hidden tension, softens. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. You are becoming as still as the stones themselves. You are becoming a part of the architecture of this room, integrated and secure. This is the beauty of the subterranean. It is a place where you can hide from the pressures of the sky. In 1340, life was inextricably linked to the sun and the stars, to the whims of the weather and the cycle of the crops. By retreating into the cellar, you are stepping out of the direct line of these pressures. You are creating a private interior space where the external environment cannot dictate your emotional state. This is a powerful protective habit. Whether it is a literal space or a mental one, we all need the ability to go beneath the surface, to find a place where the noise of the world cannot penetrate. Use this moment to reinforce that capability within yourself. Know that you can return to this sense of quiet at any time, simply by closing your eyes and breathing. The quiet in this room is not empty, it is full. It is full of the potential for rest, the history of the house, and the steady, enduring presence of the earth. As you continue to breathe in the cool air, realize that this fullness is also present within you. You are not an empty vessel. You are a reservoir of memories, experiences, and resilience. This too is a harvest. You have gathered much throughout your life, and now you have the opportunity to let those things settle, to integrate them into the bedrock of your character. The silence is the space where that integration happens. It is the period of digestion, where the events of the day or the week are processed and transformed into wisdom. As we linger here in the golden, dim light, feel the weight of your body becoming increasingly heavy. You are being held by the history of this farmhouse, supported by the strength of the stones, and cradled by the quiet of the Tuscan night. There is no urgency. Even if you were to drift away entirely, the oil would continue to press, the house would continue to stand, and the cycle would continue to turn. You are free to let go. You are free to wander through the landscape of your own mind, guided by the peaceful imagery of the farmhouse. The shadows are long and protective, the air is clean and fresh, and the rhythm of the evening is as steady and reliable as the heartbeat of the world. The transition from the day's labor to the stillness of the evening is a sacred threshold in this Tuscan farmhouse. In the year 1340, as the sun dips below the horizon and the hills are draped in a mantle of violet twilight, the transition is marked by the closing of heavy wooden shutters and the lighting of the hearths. Yet, in the subterranean depths of the press room, time feels suspended, as if the very air has thickened with the weight of the harvest. You are nestled in this cool sanctuary, where the only movement is the slow rhythmic turning of the laver and the gentle flicker of the oil lamps. The thick stone walls serve as a barrier, not just against the evening chill, but against the fleeting, chaotic nature of time itself. You are safe here in the cradle of the earth. Think of the layers of history that define this place. These walls have stood for generations, absorbing the echoes of 1,000 harvests and the quiet prayers of families who look to the land for their sustenance. Each stone was laid with purpose, each arch was carved with intent, and the entire structure is a testament to the endurance of the human spirit. When you allow yourself to inhabit this space, you are tapping into that same resilience. You are reminding yourself that you too are built to endure. You are more than the temporary stresses or fleeting anxieties of your daily life. You are a part of a larger, more permanent cycle of growth, struggle, and rest. The scent of the olives, that rich, peppery, and fruity perfume, acts as a sensory anchor. It is the smell of the earth's generosity, a tangible reminder that even after the work is done and the winter is approaching, there is nourishment to be found. As you breathe in this scent, feel it permeate your senses, grounding you in the present moment. There is no need to anticipate what comes next. There is only the immediate sensory experience of this room, the coolness of the air on your face, the soft, warm light of the lamps, and the steady, grounding presence of the stone walls. These are the elements that comprise your reality right now. Observe the way the light catches the dust motes as they drift through the room. They are tiny golden particles dancing in the amber glow of the lamps, moving with a serenity that is contagious. If you watch them long enough, your own internal state begins to mirror their movement. You become slow, deliberate, and at peace. You are not a creature of urgency, but a creature of rhythms. Just as the seasons dictate the growth of the olive, the rhythms of your own life dictate the need for rest and contemplation. By being here, you are honoring that need. You are giving yourself the gift of time, a precious, finite resource that you are choosing to spend in the pursuit of absolute, unburdened stillness. Consider the role of the press itself. It is a simple, elegant machine, devoid of the complex mechanisms that define our modern era. It relies on gravity, leverage, and the inherent properties of the fruit to do its work. There is a lesson here in the value of simplicity. We often complicate our lives with unnecessary demands, excessive choices, and the pressure to be constantly available. But here, in 1340, there is only the task at hand. The simplicity of the process is a balm for the overstimulated mind. It reminds us that we can achieve our goals, that we can provide for ourselves and our families without sacrificing our inner peace. We can be productive without being frantic. As you lean back into the atmosphere of the room, feel the tension leave your muscles. Start at your shoulders, let them drop, releasing the weight of your day. Move to your neck, your jaw, your forehead. Feel the skin soften and the muscles loosen. Your body is a vessel for your experience, and it deserves this moment of restoration. Imagine the stone walls absorbing the excess energy you no longer need, carrying it away into the earth where it can be neutralized and transformed. You are becoming lighter, freer, and more aligned with the stillness of the cellar. The only thing that exists is the quiet, the smell of the harvest, and the soft golden light. This is a space of pure, positive emotional value. It is designed to inspire reflection, to spark the imagination, and to soothe the weary heart. Sleepy History with Theodore is a sleep history storytelling platform created for entertainment, inspiration, education, and the promotion of positive emotional values. By engaging with these tales, you are not just passing the time, you are participating in a tradition of storytelling that spans millennia. You are connecting with the universal human need for rest, for comfort, and for a sense of place in the world. As you drift deeper into this state of relaxation, let the stories of the past become the lullaby for your present. Allow yourself to sink deeper into the chair or the floor where you are resting. The weight of your body is a sign that you are letting go, that you are finally surrendering to the pull of the night. There is no reason to resist. The world outside will continue to turn, the stars will continue to shine, and the morning will come in its own time. But for now, you are exempt from those concerns. You are an inhabitant of this quiet farmhouse, a guest of the autumn harvest, and a traveler in the timeless landscape of history. Breathe deeply, feel the cool air, and let the peace of the cellar fill you, holding you secure until the cycle is complete. The deep, cool interior of the farmhouse cellar serves as a vault, not for gold or precious metals, but for the very essence of life itself. In the year 1340, the value of the olive harvest cannot be overstated. It is the fuel for the lamps that fight back the encroaching shadows of the long winter nights, and it is the richness that sustains the villagers during the lean months when the earth is locked in frost. As you sit here, enveloped by the stillness, consider the gravity of this bounty. Every drop of oil that gathers in the terracotta vessel is a small golden miracle, a concentrated form of sunlight and summer warmth stored away for the time of greatest need. This is a profound form of security, one that is not dependent on abstract systems but on the tangible, reliable cycles of the land. You are witnessing the quiet, disciplined labor that ensures this security. There is no frantic movement here, no noise, and no unnecessary conversation. The workers' actions are characterized by a profound economy of movement. Each adjustment of the wooden beam, each tuck of the woven mat, is performed with the precision of a master craftsman who knows that every detail matters. This discipline is not a burden, it is a source of peace. By focusing entirely on the task, the worker enters a state of flow, a mental space where time is forgotten, and the only reality is the immediate, tactile experience. You are invited to enter that same state of flow. Let your thoughts settle around the rhythm of the work. If your mind wanders to the complexities of your daily life, gently pull it back to the image of the golden oil, the steady rhythmic pressure, and the amber light of the lamps. Notice the texture of the stone arches above you. They are not merely functional, they are artistic expressions of the builder's desire to create something beautiful, something that would stand the test of time. The curves of the arches provide a sense of architectural harmony, a mathematical beauty that is soothing to the eye. Even in the dim light, you can perceive the weight and the strength of the stones, their permanence a sharp contrast to the transient nature of modern life. When you lean against these walls, you are leaning against the strength of the past. You are being supported by a tradition of craftsmanship that prioritized durability and grace. Let this support be a physical reminder that you are not fragile. You too have a core of strength, a foundation that can withstand the pressures of your environment. The scent in the air is changing, deepening as the oil continues to flow. It is becoming richer, more intoxicating, with notes of crushed herb and earth that seem to penetrate deep into your lungs, clearing your mind and calming your heart. This is the aroma of the harvest, and it is the most honest scent imaginable. It is not manufactured or artificial, it is the raw, pure expression of the land's productivity. Breathe it in deeply and let it act as a purifying force within you. As you exhale, let go of any remaining tension in your body. Release the tightness in your chest, the clutter of your thoughts, and the weight of your expectations. You are being cleansed by the atmosphere of the farmhouse. Return to a state of simple, natural equilibrium. Think about the silence of the farmhouse. It is a thick, textured silence, a presence rather than an absence. It is the silence of a house that is resting, of a landscape that is turning inward, and of a history that has been fully processed. This silence is a rare luxury. In our modern existence, we are constantly bathed in ambient noise, the hum of technology, the bustle of the streets, the constant flow of information, but here the silence is pure. It allows you to hear the subtle sounds that are usually drowned out, the faint crackle of the lamp wick, the slow rhythmic settling of the stone, the soft distant murmur of the night wind. These sounds are the heartbeat of the world, and they are here to remind you that you are a part of a larger living system. As you linger in this state, consider the importance of slowing down. We are often taught that progress requires speed, that we must always be moving, always be achieving, always be forward-looking. But the olive press teaches us a different truth, that the most profound results often come from the slowest processes. By taking the time to wait, by allowing the oil to flow at its own natural pace, the farmer ensures the highest quality of the product. The same is true for your own life. Some of your most important developments, your growth, your healing, your insights, cannot be rushed. They require a space of quiet, a period of patient waiting, and a willingness to trust the process. You are here to grant yourself that space. You are here to honor the importance of being slow, being steady, and being present. The shadows on the stone walls are your companions in this journey. They are fluid, always changing, yet always present. They represent the mysteries of the past, the unseen forces that have shaped our history, and the gentle hidden aspects of our own souls. As you watch them, feel a sense of kinship. You are part of the landscape, part of the history, and part of the quiet unfolding story of the night. There is no need to define yourself or to perform for anyone. There is no need to justify your existence. You simply are. You are a witness to the harvest, a participant in the rhythm of the farmhouse, and a traveler who has found the ultimate sanctuary. Let this feeling of belonging settle deep into your bones, creating a reservoir of peace that you can carry with you long after this moment has passed. The night is deep, the walls are thick, and you are safely held within the golden, quiet heart of the Tuscan hills. The subterranean air within this ancient Tuscan cellar has a weight to it that is uniquely comforting. It is not cold in a way that chills, but cool in a way that preserves and protects. As you sit here, you are protected from the volatile weather of the world above, the gusting winds of autumn, the sharp bite of the coming winter frost, and the relentless, hurried pace of the century. You have moved past the threshold of the known world into a realm where the laws of time seem to have been suspended in favor of the rhythmic, life-sustaining cadence of the harvest. The stone walls around you have stood for centuries, and in their enduring presence, you find a reflection of your own hidden strength. These stones have held the secrets of families, the memories of countless seasons, and the quiet, persistent wisdom of the earth. Focus your attention on the floor beneath you. It is composed of large, uneven slabs of local sandstone, smoothed over time by the friction of thousands of footsteps. This floor is the foundation of the farmhouse, the physical base upon which all of life above is built. Feel the cool, solid reality of it pressing against your back or your feet. There is a profound sense of security in knowing that, regardless of how chaotic your thoughts may be, the ground beneath you is unwavering. It is a constant, a bedrock of reality that will not shift, will not judge, and will not demand anything of you. Let this stability transfer into your own body, allowing your muscles to slacken, your jaw to loosen, and your breathing to descend into a deep diaphragmatic pattern that mimics the slow, deliberate pulse of the cellar. The olive press, that magnificent wooden contraption, continues its work in the center of the room. It is a masterpiece of early engineering, a testament to the ingenuity of the people who inhabited this land in 1340. They didn't have computers or electricity, yet they possessed a deep, intuitive understanding of mechanics and natural laws. They knew how to harness the potential of the fruit, how to apply pressure with precision, and how to create a process that was both efficient and harmonious. When you look at the press, see it not just as a tool, but as a bridge between humanity and the natural world. It is the mechanism by which the sunlight trapped in the olive leaves is released into the golden oil, providing warmth and light to the household. It is a beautiful, necessary transmutation. As the evening deepens, the atmosphere in the room grows more intimate. The oil lamps are the only sources of light, and they create a private, glowing world that feels entirely removed from the rest of the universe. In this bubble of warmth, you are free to explore the landscape of your own mind. The quiet is so absolute that you can almost hear the history of the house breathing alongside you. You might imagine the families who have sat in this very spot, listening to the same sounds, smelling the same crushed olives, and finding the same respite from the labors of the day. You are participating in a timeless ritual of restoration. By allowing yourself to be here, you are honoring that tradition and adding your own moment of peace to the long, storied history of this farmhouse. Consider the concept of the harvest as it applies to your own internal life. We all have times of intense activity where we are planting seeds, tending to our growth, and working hard to cultivate the things that matter to us. But we also require periods of the harvest where we step back, collect what we have produced, and allow the fruits of our labor to sustain us. This period of quiet in the cellar is your harvest. It is the time to gather the reflections, the insights, and the sense of peace you have cultivated throughout your day and week. It is a time to acknowledge that you have done enough, that you have contributed enough, and that you are now permitted to rest. The harvest is not a time for further work. It is a time for gratitude and repose. As you sit in this sanctuary, feel the way the stillness softens your identity. Out in the world, you have titles, responsibilities, and roles to play. You are defined by what you do, what you own, and who you know. But here, in the dim golden light of 1340, those things lose their significance. You are simply a human being in the presence of a quiet, ancient process. You are a guest of the earth, a traveler resting in the heart of a sturdy, protective structure. This loss of identity is not a diminishment, it is a liberation. It allows you to feel the essence of your own existence, independent of the labels you carry in the daylight. This is a profound, restful state that is necessary for the renewal of the soul. The sound of the press is rhythmic and hypnotic, providing a steady, gentle soundtrack for your relaxation. It is a sound that requires no effort to follow, a sound that pulls you into a state of quiet focus. As you listen, let it carry away the last remnants of your mental clutter. Imagine your thoughts as small, stray leaves drifting into the press, being crushed and then being transformed into something new and beneficial. Let the process take the complexity of your worries and distill them into a simple, manageable awareness. You are being refined by the quiet of the cellar. You are being distilled into a clearer, more peaceful version of yourself. Sleepy History with Theodore combines the power of AI to reimagine fictional historical tales, bringing peace, relaxation, and positive emotional values to our listeners. As you drift further into this state of rest, remember that this space is always available to you. You are building a mental sanctuary that you can return to whenever the world feels overwhelming. The farmhouse will always be here, the press will always be turning, and the golden oil will always be flowing, waiting to offer you the same comfort and stillness. As the shadows stretch and the light softens, allow yourself to fully surrender to the peace of this moment, knowing that you are safe, you are supported, and you're exactly where you need to be to find the rest your spirit deserves. The air in the subterranean press room has settled into a state of absolute, heavy tranquility. You have now spent long enough within these stone walls that your own breathing has synchronized with the very rhythm of the building. The house itself feels as though it is exhaling, a slow, deep release of all the energy expended during the intense, sun-drenched weeks of the harvest. Now in the cooling dusk you are permitted to share in that profound rest. The stone arches overhead, with their rough-hewn texture and the faint earthy scent of ancient mortar, hold the quiet above you like a protective canopy. You are hidden away from the world, and in this hiding you find the greatest freedom you have known all day, the freedom to simply exist without purpose or deadline. Take a moment to fully appreciate the sanctuary you have cultivated for yourself. It is not just a room, it is a mental and emotional space where the noise of the century is effectively muted. Whether you are dealing with the pressures of 2026 or just the general weight of living, this farmhouse in 1340 serves as a timeless anchor. You are invited to deepen your connection to this stillness by making it a permanent part of your routine. We encourage you to subscribe to our channel or follow our updates. ensuring that whenever you need to escape the turbulence of your daily environment, you have a direct path back to this stone cellar. Your support of Sleepy History with Theodore enables us to keep these doors open, constructing new historical sanctuaries and refining the stories that bring peace, inspiration, and positive emotional values to your life. By joining our growing community, you are helping to preserve the art of the quiet, slow story, ensuring that the legacy of the farmhouse and the peace it offers endures for all who need it. Observe the way the oil continues to accumulate. It is a slow, methodical rise in the terracotta jar, almost imperceptible if you look at it constantly. But if you look away and look back, you see the difference. The liquid has gained ground. This is how change happens in our own lives, especially the positive kind. We often fail to see the progress because we are looking too closely or expecting immediate results. The olive press reminds us that the best things in life, like wisdom, tranquility, and inner strength, are gathered one steady, patient drop at a time. Do not be discouraged by the slow pace of your personal growth. You are gathering your own golden harvest, even when you feel as though you are standing still. Trust the process of your own existence. Consider the role of the shadows in this room. They are not merely the absence of light, they are a presence. A soft velvet backdrop that makes the amber glow of the lamps look even more inviting. In your own life, acknowledge the shadows, the difficult days, the moments of uncertainty, the periods of quiet withdrawal. They are not to be feared, they are the necessary contrast that allows the light of your own joy and resilience to shine more clearly. When you are feeling overwhelmed by your personal darkness, return here, in your mind, to this farmhouse cellar. Realize that you too are resting in a place of protected, intentional shadow, and that this too is a form of light. The coolness of the floor is a constant, tactile reminder of your connection to the physical world. It is the earth itself, sculpted and placed to provide you with a bed of stability. Feel the weight of your body pressing into that stone. Let your muscles, particularly those in your neck and between your shoulder blades, give up the effort of holding yourself upright. You do not need to hold yourself up here. The farmhouse will hold you. The history of the building will hold you. You are part of the structure now, a temporary inhabitant of a permanent sanctuary. As you feel yourself sinking deeper into the floor, imagine the earth beneath the foundation of the house, deep, cool, and silent, cradling you in its vast, slow embrace. Listen closely to the quiet. It is not empty. If you filter out the distractions of your own mind, you can hear the faint, muffled symphony of the night beginning to settle over the Tuscan hills. Perhaps a distant owl, or the soft rustling of dry leaves against the exterior stone, or the low ambient hum of a world that is preparing to sleep. These sounds are not meant to disturb you. They are meant to assure you that the world is in order. The night is doing its work. Just as you're doing yours, the cycle of the day is closing, and you are perfectly in sync with that closure. You are ending your day in the best way possible by letting go, by resting, and by honoring the need for peace. The peppery, fruit-forward scent of the olive oil remains the dominant sensory experience. It is a clean, honest, and slightly sharp smell that cuts through any fogginess in your brain. It reminds you of the tree, the sun, the soil, and the rain, the elemental components of life. When you breathe it in, you are taking in the vitality of the earth. You are refueling your own spirit with the simplest, most fundamental elements of existence. You don't need fancy tools or complex solutions to find happiness. You need only to be present, to be aware, and to be in harmony with the natural rhythm of your surroundings. As we continue to dwell in this space, let your imagination roam freely. You are a visitor in 1340, a silent observer in a world that is simpler, harder, yet in many ways more profoundly connected to the basics of survival and joy. You have earned this time of rest. You have navigated your own life, faced your own challenges, and now you have arrived here, at the end of the day, in the safety of the stone press room. There is nothing more to do tonight. The olives will continue to yield, the lamps will continue to burn, and you will continue to rest, deeper and deeper, until the distinction between your own breathing and the rhythm of the farmhouse disappears entirely. You are at home in the quiet, you are at home in the dark, you are at home in the peace. Deep within the Tuscan hillside, the fortified stone farmhouse remains a sentinel of calm, while the world above continues its eternal rotation toward the stars. The air here has reached a perfect equilibrium, a blend of cool, mineral-rich dampness from the stone and the pervasive, invigorating scent of the freshly crushed olives. This environment is not merely a room, it is a repository of history and a sanctuary for the weary spirit. When you sit in this space, you're not just sitting in a cellar, you're sitting in a pocket of time where the frenetic energy of the modern world cannot penetrate. The thick, vaulted ceiling, built with the meticulous care of medieval masons, arcs over you like a protective embrace. These stones have held their ground for nearly 7 centuries, and they offer that same unwavering stability to you right now. Think about the sheer resilience of this architecture. In 1340, life was defined by the tangible, the harvest, the hearth, the strength of one's walls, and the quality of one's tools. There was no reliance on the fleeting or the virtual. Everything had to be sturdy, reliable, and grounded in the physical reality of the land. As you sit here, let that sense of physical reality seep into your consciousness. Feel the weight of the stone, the texture of the wooden press, and the solidity of the earth that forms the foundation of this entire building. There is a deep, primal comfort in being grounded. It reminds you that regardless of the complexities you face in your daily life, your fundamental existence is tied to something solid, something permanent, and something that you can trust. The worker, whose silhouette has become a familiar, comforting presence in your field of vision, moves with the economy of a person who has done this 1,000 times before. There is no wasted motion, no hesitation, and no anxiety. They embody the philosophy of the harvest. What must be done will be done, and it will be done at the pace that the natural materials dictate. When they adjust the wooden beam, it is with a steady hand that has been shaped by seasons of labor. When they pause to wipe their brow, it is not a sign of fatigue, but a moment of mindful transition. Observing this level of calm, intentional action is a powerful tool for your own relaxation. It teaches you that you do not need to rush to be successful, and that you do not need to be frantic to be effective. Consider the aroma of the olives. It is perhaps the most defining feature of this space. It is a bold, complex scent, fruity yet sharp, peppery yet smooth, a sensory experience that feels as though it is feeding your very cells. In the medieval farmhouse, this oil was the liquid gold that kept the family alive. It was their light in the dark, their energy in the cold, and their medicine for the body. By breathing it in, you are connecting to a lineage of survival and well-being. You are partaking in the same vitality that has sustained generations of people in this Tuscan valley. Allow this connection to nourish you, to fill the gaps in your own spirit, and to provide you with a sense of continuity that transcends your individual life. The lighting provided by the flickering flames of the oil lamps creates a mesmerizing dance of light and shadow on the walls. These shadows are not ominous. They are soft, velvet layers of peace that seem to push back the boundaries of the room, making it feel both intimate and expansive. As you focus on the movement of the shadows, feel your eyes growing heavy, the persistent low-frequency sound of the press, a gentle rhythmic creak, and the faint, wet sound of the oil hitting the terracotta becomes a lullaby. It is a sound that demands nothing of you but your presence. It is a sound that invites you to let go, to surrender the need to maintain your defenses, and to simply sink into the comfort of being held. Reflect on the nature of the night outside. The hills are quiet, the olive groves are resting under the silver moonlight, and the air is turning crisp and cold. You are safe from all of that. You are in the warm, golden heart of the farmhouse. This contrast between the harshness of the outside world and the peace of the interior is one of the most powerful aspects of this experience. It reinforces the idea that you have the capacity to create your own sanctuary. Even when the world feels loud, cold, or demanding, you can reach into this memory, into this feeling of the stone walls and the amber light, and find a place of stillness. You have the ability to carry this farmhouse within you, a private refuge that you can access whenever you need it most. As you dwell in this feeling of safety, let go of any remaining expectations you have for the evening. There is no requirement to analyze this story, no need to draw conclusions, and no task to complete. The purpose of this time is simply to exist in the flow of the moment. You are doing the most important work of your life right now. You are resting. You are allowing your body to repair itself, your mind to settle into stillness, and your spirit to be refreshed. The olives are doing their work, the farmer is doing their work, and the farmhouse is doing its work. All you need to do is be here, breathe, and enjoy the profound, gentle peace that this space provides. Continue to let your body feel heavy against the floor or your seat. Notice the sensation of your limbs sinking into the space around you. Imagine your tension draining out through your fingertips and toes, being absorbed by the ancient, steady earth beneath the cellar. You are becoming as tranquil as the stone itself. The night is long, the space is quiet, and the bounty of the harvest is being collected in the most beautiful, slow, and rhythmic way. You are a part of this cycle now, held and cradled by the history of the Tuscan hills and allowed to drift at your own pace into the deepest, most restorative rest you have felt in a long, long time. The cool, subterranean air of the stone farmhouse cellar acts as a physical barrier between your consciousness and the external world. As you remain in this space, you become increasingly aware of the deliberate, slow-motion pace of life here in the year 1340. Everything in this room has been constructed to last, and everything in this process has been refined over centuries of practice. There is no urgency here, only the steady, inevitable movement of the harvest being transformed into the precious golden oil that will sustain the household through the winter. This environment is in every sense a place of profound grounding. You are no longer navigating the pressures of your own time. You are simply a silent observer in a world defined by the cycle of the land. The thick, cold walls of the basement, with their rugged stone surfaces and irregular mortar, have absorbed the silence of the night, creating a vacuum that seems to pull the stress directly out of your mind. Notice how your body has fully adapted to this stillness. Your muscles have transitioned from a state of alert tension to one of complete, heavy relaxation. You can feel the weight of your own limbs, a sign that you are finally allowing yourself to be supported by the environment rather than trying to hold yourself up against the world. This is the ultimate comfort, to be held by the history and the physical reality of the place where you are resting. You are not a guest here, you are an essential part of the scene, a witness to the age-old tradition that connects the human spirit to the earth's bounty. The olive press continues its gentle rhythmic work, the sound of the wooden lever shifting against the stone frame, serving as a heartbeat for the entire room. It is a steady, reassuring pulse that anchors your thoughts and prevents them from straying into the anxieties of your daily life. Consider the significance of the oil lamps. They are not just sources of light, they are miniature captive stars that turn the cellar into a sanctuary of warmth. In a time before the widespread use of artificial illumination, the ability to create light was the ability to control one's environment, to extend the day, and to keep the encroaching darkness at bay. When you look at the flickering flames, recognize the power they represent. They are fed by the very oil that is being produced in this room, a closed-loop system of sustenance that perfectly illustrates the self-sufficiency of the medieval farm. You too have this power. You have the ability to generate your own light, your own warmth, and your own comfort, regardless of how dark or cold the world outside may feel. By sitting here and absorbing this atmosphere, you are actively refueling your internal light, ensuring that you carry the peace of this cellar with you long after the story ends. The peppery, vibrant scent of the olives is now so deeply ingrained in the atmosphere that it feels like a physical part of the room's architecture. It is a scent that awakens the senses while simultaneously calming the nerves, an aromatic paradox that is perfectly suited for deep relaxation. Breathe it in deeply, filling your lungs with the essence of the Tuscan harvest. Imagine this scent as a golden, liquid energy that flows through your body with every breath, smoothing out the rough edges of your mood and washing away the remnants of your daily chores. You don't need to do anything to earn this feeling. You don't need to be productive or useful in this moment. The oil is being pressed for you, the farmhouse is protecting you, and the history of the land is providing you with the peace you seek. All you have to do is surrender to it. Reflect on the silence of the Tuscan night. Outside, the world is vast, wild, and largely indifferent to the affairs of humans. The wind blows across the hills, the stars shift in their slow celestial tracks, and the trees stand tall in the silver moonlight. But in this cellar, You are tucked away in a place of order and purpose. The contrast is profound, and it highlights the beauty of the sanctuary you have created. It is the same contrast we all need in our own lives, a place to retreat to, a place where we are safe from the elements and from the noise, and a place where we can simply be. Whether that place is a physical room, a book, a song, or a deep meditative state, it is essential for our well-being. By staying here, in this farmhouse of 1340, you are exercising your ability to find that sanctuary whenever you need it. As you continue to dwell in this deep, quiet state, let your mind wander through the history of the room itself. How many hands have touched these stones? How many people have sought refuge here, not just from the weather but from the difficulties of their own lives? You are standing in the shadow of all those who came before, a part of a long, unbroken chain of humanity that has always sought peace in the simple, necessary labor of the harvest. You are part of something much larger than yourself, and that realization can be incredibly comforting. You are not alone in your struggle, and you are not alone in your need for rest. You are supported by the collective memory of all those who have found their own version of this sanctuary. Let the final heavy echoes of the day fade away. The work in the cellar is nearing its natural conclusion for the night. The jars are filling, the lanterns are burning low, and the air is becoming even more still. There is no reason to resist the heaviness in your eyelids. There is no reason to keep your mind focused on anything other than the feeling of safety and the sound of the slow, rhythmic labor. You have traveled far to get here, and you have earned the right to drift into the deepest, most restorative kind of rest. The farmhouse is secure, the oil is safe, and you are tucked away in the heart of a gentle, ancient night. Let go of everything. Let the silence of the cellar become your own internal silence. Let the peace of 134 become your own peace. You are finished for the day, you are safe, you are whole, you are at rest. The subterranean sanctuary of the Tuscan farmhouse has now become a place of absolute stillness. As the night deepens outside, the cellar seems to pull the very essence of the quiet into its stone heart. You are resting in a space where time has lost its sharp, demanding edge, replaced by the slow, circular motion of the harvest season. The thick walls, cool and ancient, have become an extension of your own sense of security. There is a profound, unshakable peace that settles over you here, a feeling that everything is exactly as it should be. The work is being done, the oil is being gathered, and the cycle of the land continues, indifferent to the noise of the outside world. This is the ultimate comfort, the realization that the world can continue to spin without your constant intervention, and that you are permitted, even encouraged, to step aside and simply exist in the quiet. We invite you to make this space of restorative peace a permanent part of your journey toward wellness. If you find yourself returning to this story, to these ancient stone walls, and to the soothing rhythm of the press, we encourage you to subscribe or follow our channel. By joining the community at Sleepy History with Theodore, you are ensuring that you will always have a direct path back to this sanctuary. Your support is vital. It helps us curate these moments of historical tranquility, blending the power of imagination and technology to create stories that bring inspiration, deep rest, and positive emotional values to your life. Every interaction, every moment you spend in this space is a testament to the importance of the slow, the steady, and the deeply fundamentally peaceful. Consider the atmosphere of the room once more, now that the activity of the pressing has reached its final quiet stage. The scent of the olives is still strong, but it has softened, becoming a more subtle background element that seems to weave itself into the very fabric of the air. It is a comforting, familiar scent, like the memory of a sun-drenched day trapped in a cool, dark room. It serves as a reminder that the warmth of the summer is preserved in the oil, and by extension in your own heart. When you encounter the challenges of your daily life, recall this feeling of preserved warmth. You have within you a reservoir of light and energy that cannot be diminished by the cold or the darkness of the world outside. Think about the physical sensation of the stone floor. It is unchanging, reliable, and solid. It is the foundation of the house, and it is the foundation of your experience right now. As you lie there or sit in the dim light, feel your own bones becoming heavy and grounded. Imagine that you are rooting yourself into the very foundation of the farmhouse. You are not going anywhere. There is no place you need to be. You are safe within these walls, anchored by the weight of the stone and the long, slow history of the building. This grounding is the antidote to the feeling of being scattered or overwhelmed. It brings you back to your center, to the core of who you are when all the external expectations are stripped away. The shadows have now claimed almost every corner of the room, leaving only the immediate area around the lamps glowing with a soft amber intensity. This is a beautiful, intimate scale for your experience. You are no longer observing a large, busy room. You are resting in a small, glowing bubble of peace. The world has shrunk to the size of this space, and that is a relief. The fewer things you have to track, the more you can focus on the sensation of being alive, of being safe, and of being at rest. Let your focus narrow even further. Let the edges of the room blur until the only thing you're aware of is your own breathing and the soft, intermittent sounds of the press. Reflect on the nature of the oil as a symbol. It is the lifeblood of the farm, the product of a year of hard work, and the essence of the land's bounty. When it is gathered, it is a cause for quiet celebration. It is a victory over the winter. In your own life, acknowledge your own victories, however small they may seem. The fact that you have navigated the day, that you have managed your responsibilities, and that you have arrived here at this moment of peace, these are your victories. You are gathering your own oil, your own life-sustaining resources, and you are storing them away in the quiet, safe chambers of your own soul. You are a successful harvester of your own existence. As the night continues to hold you in its gentle grip, let your thoughts dissolve completely. There is no language here, no narrative arc that needs to be followed, and no future that needs to be planned. There is only the sensation of being here in the year 1340, in the heart of a Tuscan stone farmhouse. The air is cool, the scent is rich, and the peace is profound. Everything you need is already present. You are finished with the day's work. You are shielded from the night's chill. You are allowed to let go of everything you have been carrying. Drift off into the quiet, knowing that you are held, you are cared for, and you are exactly where you need to be to find your rest. The farmhouse has entered the deepest hour of the night, a time when the world outside has surrendered entirely to the stars and the rolling dark contours of the Tuscan hills. Within the cellar, the silence has become so absolute that it feels almost tangible, a soft velvet weight that presses gently against your skin. You are cradled in the very foundations of the building, a space that has been carved into the living earth to serve as a fortress of productivity and peace. Here the temperature remains consistent, a cool and stable embrace that ignores the vagaries of the season above. This is the ultimate sanctuary, a place where time is not measured by the tick of a clock, but by the steady, slow drips of golden oil into the final waiting vessel. Each drop is a testament to the patient, unhurried rhythm that defines this existence. You might find yourself drifting into a state where the boundaries of your own body seem to blur with the stone surroundings. It is a peaceful, floating sensation. You are no longer separate from the house. You are part of its architecture, part of its history, and part of the quiet, persistent life that thrives within its walls. The stone, with its rough texture and its history of shielding those who came before, now shields you. It has held the heat of the summer sun, stored deep within its mass, and now releases it in a gentle, radiating warmth that makes the air feel incredibly soft. Your muscles, so often clenched by the requirements of the daylight world, have finally truly let go. You are sinking, not into darkness, but into a deep, restorative pool of calm. Think about the olive tree itself, the source of everything you see and smell in this room. It is a plant of incredible endurance, capable of growing in thin, rocky soil, surviving the harsh winds of the Mediterranean, and producing fruit for hundreds of years. The oil is the essence of that endurance. It is the tree's way of saying it has survived, it has thrived, and it has something to give back to the world. When you consume it or even just breathe in its scent, you are taking in a piece of that ancient vitality. You are reminding your own system that it too is capable of endurance. You are made of tougher stuff than you give yourself credit for. And just like the olive tree, you are capable of turning the hardships of your life into something rich, nourishing, and golden. The lamps, now burning very low, offer only the dimmest, most amber of glows. This is the light of the subconscious, the soft illumination that allows you to see the world not as it is, but as you feel it to be. In this glow, all the sharp edges of your day have been rounded off. The worries that seemed so significant only hours ago now appear distant, unimportant, and quite frankly irrelevant to the simple act of breathing in this cool aromatic air. You have reached a place where the ego has quieted down, where the demand to be someone or to do something has evaporated. You are simply a consciousness resting in a stone room in 1340, and that is more than enough. It is, in fact, everything. Let the rhythmic, mechanical sounds of the press guide you further down into this state of rest. Even though the worker has likely ceased their activity for the night, the image of the press remains in your mind, a structure of perfect purpose and calm. The creak of wood, the slight shifts of the weight, these are the sounds of a house that is at peace with its own function. Can you hear the farmhouse sighing in its sleep? It is a low structural sound, the settling of beams and the breathing of the stone. It is the most grounding sound you have ever heard. It tells you that you are protected. It tells you that the house is doing its job, watching over you as it has watched over all those who have rested here in the centuries past. Consider how the darkness of the cellar is not a lack of light, but a presence in its own right. It is a quiet, encompassing darkness that encourages you to close your eyes and retreat within. When you do, you don't find emptiness. You find a landscape of memories, feelings, and the gentle humming stillness of your own heart. This internal landscape is yours to cultivate. It is your own private estate, your own Tuscan farmhouse that you can visit whenever the world outside becomes too much. By lingering here now, you are mapping the way to this sanctuary, so that you can return to it with ease in the future. You are building a home for your spirit within the quiet of the night. The scent of the oil has now become a permanent part of your environment, a gentle peppery perfume that coats the air. It is a reminder of the harvest, of the gathering of the fruits, and of the completion of the cycle. You have completed your cycle for the day. You have harvested your experiences, finished your tasks, and now you are bringing everything home to this place of rest. There is nothing left to harvest, nothing left to gather. The work is done, the fruits are safe, the oil is gathered. You are free to sleep, free to drift, free to let the night dissolve around you into the deepest, most gentle peace imaginable. You are safe, you are at home, you are at rest. The silence of the subterranean press room has reached a state of perfect, crystalline purity. In the heart of this Tuscan night, the farmhouse has become a sanctuary, not just for the harvested olives, but for your own wandering thoughts. Everything in this space contributes to a singular, harmonious purpose, the preservation of vitality and the cultivation of rest. The walls, which were constructed with such deliberate strength to protect the household, are now protecting your peace of mind. As you sit or lie amidst the cooling air, you may notice that the boundaries of your body feel softer, less defined, as if you are slowly becoming one with the environment. This is a natural consequence of deep relaxation. When we stop bracing ourselves against the world, we begin to feel the inherent safety of the earth, the way the stone and the soil beneath us are always present to provide support. Think of the patience required by the farmhouse inhabitants in 1340. They lived in a world where nothing happened quickly. Seeds took months to sprout, fruit took months to ripen, and oil took days to press. This patience was not a virtue they chose, it was a reality they lived. And in that reality they found a kind of freedom. They were not enslaved by the modern requirement for instant results. They knew that everything has its own time, its own pace, and its own inevitable outcome. When you lean into this mindset, you liberate yourself from the anxiety of the now. You acknowledge that the things that matter most in your life are already in motion, that they have their own rhythm, and that you do not need to constantly push or pull to make them happen. The scent of the olives, now so deeply familiar that it feels like the air itself, continues to work its magic on your senses. It is a grounding scent, one that reminds you of the deep, dark soil from which the trees draw their strength. It is an honest smell, devoid of the complex synthetic aromas that characterize our modern environments. Because it is simple and elemental, It does not tax your brain. It does not demand to be analyzed or interpreted. It simply exists, and in its existence it provides a backdrop of natural comfort. Let this scent act as a tether. Whenever you feel your mind drifting toward a place of unease, simply return to this smell, earth, fruit, stone, and the promise of the coming spring. It is a memory of life captured and distilled. As you look around the cellar, the play of shadows is even more subtle now. The lamps have burned down, and the light is barely aglow, a faint pulse of color that softens the sharp corners of the stone. This dimness is a gift. It is an invitation to close your eyes, to look within, and to stop relying on the external world for information or entertainment. You are now entirely self-contained. You have everything you need within the borders of your own awareness. The farmhouse, the hills, the history, and the harvest are all reflected within your mind, a complete and peaceful landscape that you can walk through at your leisure. There is no urgency to leave this space. You have all the time you need. Reflect on the nature of the return. We all experience times when we feel disconnected, lost, or overwhelmed, as if we have wandered too far from our own center. The act of coming to a story like this is a return. It is a way of coming back to yourself, back to the quiet, and back to the understanding that you are, at your core, a being designed for rest as much as for movement. The farmhouse in 1340 is not just a historical site, it is a symbol of that center. It is a place where you are allowed to be simple, to be human, and to be at peace with your place in the cycle of life. Let this sense of returning home sink into your bones. You are coming back to the silence that has always been yours. The floor beneath you, those massive, cool slabs of sandstone, feels like a warm hand pressing against your back. It is the earth itself holding you up. Even in the middle of a medieval cellar, you are connected to the entire world. The same earth that supports this building supports the groves on the hillside, the paths leading to the village, and the very ground you stand on in your own time. You are part of a massive interconnected web of life, and you are currently situated in a place of profound stability. Feel the weight of that stability. Let it absorb your own weight. When you finally allow yourself to be fully supported, you will find that you can stop holding on to everything so tightly. You can let go. The rhythmic sounds of the farmhouse, the quiet structural settling, the faint wind outside, the occasional drip of oil, have become a part of your own consciousness. They are no longer external stimuli. They are the melody of your current reality. And as a melody, they can be followed into sleep. There is no need to fight the coming slumber. It is the most natural thing in the world. The final beautiful movement of the harvest song. The night is deep. The farmhouse is secure, and you are held in a space where time has stopped to allow you to catch your breath. Everything is silent, everything is steady, and everything is waiting for you to simply drift away into the dark, comforting folds of rest. You are safe, you are at peace, you are home. The farmhouse, deep in the heart of the Tuscan night, has become a vessel of absolute stillness. As the last remnants of the day's labor fade into the background, the atmosphere within the stone cellar grows increasingly profound. You are nestled in a place that feels as if it were carved out of the very silence of the earth. The walls, thick and layered with the accumulation of centuries, provide a sense of security that is both physical and emotional. In the year 1340, the world was a place of immense uncertainty, defined by the precariousness of the harvest, the turning of the seasons, and the constant, quiet struggle for survival. Yet here in this subterranean sanctuary, that struggle is replaced by a sense of order. The process of pressing the olives is a ritual that tames the wildness of the landscape, turning the raw bounty of the trees into a concentrated, golden essence of life. You are resting in that essence. The scent, now so ubiquitous that it seems to occupy the very space between your thoughts, acts as a sensory cradle. It is an honest, unrefined aroma, a mixture of cold stone, crushed fruit, and the faint, earthy sweetness of the hillsides. As you breathe in this air, you are not just relaxing, you are participating in a tradition that is as old as the hills themselves. You are breathing the same air that generations of farmers have breathed, finding the same relief from the day's toll and experiencing the same quiet, restorative power of the land. This is the beauty of this place. It is a bridge across time, connecting you to the fundamental reality of human existence, where the cycle of work and rest is the primary truth. Consider the physical sensation of the stone arches. They are not merely functional, they are beautiful rhythmic shapes that guide the eye and soothe the mind. In the soft amber glow of the nearly spent oil lamps, these arches seem to pulse with a life of their own. They are the skeleton of the farmhouse, the support structure that allows the life of the family to continue above, and now they are the support structure for your rest. You are being held by the strength of these stones. When you feel your muscles soften and your breath become shallow, you are signaling to yourself that it is safe to relinquish control. You don't have to be the one holding everything up right now. The house is doing it for you. The stones are doing it for you. The weight of the earth itself is doing it for you. Think about the olive oil as a symbol of your own stored potential. Just as the fruit of the tree is gathered and pressed to reveal the liquid gold within, you have spent your own time and energy gathering experiences, wisdom and strength. Now, you're in the period of the harvest. You are allowing your own inner oil to be collected, to be refined, and to provide you with the sustenance you need to face the future. This is not a time for further effort. This is a time for integration. It is the time when the lessons of the day settle into your character, when the stresses of the week are transformed into the insights of your own growth. By resting here, you are ensuring that you are adequately prepared for whatever the morning may bring. The darkness in the corners of the room is not to be feared. It is a deep, velvety, and protective darkness. It is the kind of dark that encourages you to stop looking outward for validation and start looking inward for comfort. In the modern world, we are taught that light is always better, that we must be constantly visible, constantly active, and constantly engaged. But here, in this cellar in 1340, you discover the truth of the quiet. The dark is where the spirit goes to repair itself. The dark is where the mind goes to find the stillness that the daylight makes impossible. When you embrace this darkness, you find that you are not losing your way. You are finding your true self. You are discovering the part of you that exists regardless of the world's demands. As the press room settles into the deepest part of the night, the silence becomes even more resonant. It is a silence that feels thick, textured, and warm. You might hear the occasional soft shift of the building, a low-frequency groan of timber or stone that is the house's way of saying it is still here, still watching, and still holding you safe. These sounds are deeply musical in their own way. They are the sounds of a life well lived, a structure well built, and a purpose clearly defined. When you listen to them, let your heart rate drop to match the rhythm of the building. You are in a place of perfect consistency. Nothing is changing, nothing is demanding, and nothing is moving too fast. The feeling of being held is the ultimate goal of this experience. We spend so much of our lives holding ourselves, maintaining our posture, our defenses, and our persona. Here you can lay that down. You can be small, you can be quiet, and you can be vulnerable, because the farmhouse is keeping watch. You are safe from the wind, safe from the cold, and safe from the chaotic pace of the 21st century. You have successfully navigated the day, and you have arrived at the final beautiful conclusion of the evening. Let your eyes drift closed if they haven't already. Let your thoughts turn into soft, indistinct shapes. Let the peace of the Tuscan hills flow into your limbs, filling you with a sense of calm that is as deep and enduring as the stones themselves. You are finished for the day, you are resting in the heart of history, and there is nowhere else you need to be. The deep, cool embrace of the subterranean cellar is now the only reality you recognize. The farmhouse has surrendered to the profound quiet of the late night, and in this suspension of time, you find yourself at the very center of tranquility. The stone arches, carved with the rough beauty of medieval craftsmanship, stand as silent guardians over your rest. There is a weight to the silence here that feels substantial, as if it were a physical layer of insulation protecting you from the turbulence of any other time or place. You are nestled in the bedrock of the Tuscan hills, and the earth itself seems to be breathing in slow, measured cycles, creating a sanctuary that is as natural as a cave and as secure as a fortress. The air is cool, carrying the lingering, earthy perfume of the olive harvest, a scent that has permeated these stones over centuries. a testament to the cycles of life that this room has witnessed. Consider the rhythm of the farmhouse during these quiet hours. It is a slow, steady pulse that has nothing to do with the frenetic clocks of our own age. This is the rhythm of the land, of the ripening fruit, and of the seasonal turning of the year. When you align your own internal rhythm with this, you stop feeling the pressure to achieve or to complete. You stop feeling that your value is tied to your productivity. Instead, you enter a state of being where your existence alone is sufficient. The oil has been gathered, the jars are filled, and the work is done. These facts in themselves create a sense of completion that flows into you, filling you with a deep, quiet satisfaction. You are allowed to stop, and in that stopping, you become whole. The darkness of the cellar is no longer a void, it is a soft, supportive substance, a velvet layer that wraps around you. In the dim, final glow of the oil lamps, the room appears almost to be breathing. Shadows shift with a gentle, hypnotic fluidity, casting patterns against the rough-hewn stone that evoke a sense of ancient peace. You are not meant to see clearly here, you are meant to feel, to listen, and to sink. This is the realm of the subconscious, the place where we go to heal the parts of ourselves that the daylight forgets. By allowing your eyes to soften, you are inviting your mind to do the same. Let the sharpness of your thoughts dissolve into the shadows. Let the specific worries of your day become indistinct, like distant memories of a life that belongs to someone else. Think of the strength of the stone walls. They have withstood storms, they have withstood the passage of centuries, and they have withstood the countless quiet efforts of the people who have walked these floors. They are symbols of resilience, and as you sit in their presence, you can absorb that quality for yourself. You do not need to be hard or defensive to be resilient. You simply need to be grounded, to be steady, and to be willing to wait for the storm to pass. This farmhouse is a masterclass in waiting. It does not fight the winter, it prepares for it. It does not fight the passage of time, it builds structures that honor it. You are learning that same lesson, that the most powerful thing you can do is to hold your ground, breathe, and trust in the cycle of your own life. The coolness on your skin is a constant, gentle reminder of where you are. It is the coolness of the earth, the temperature of the deep soil. It feels clean, refreshing, and deeply soothing. When you feel it, let it draw you further into the present moment. Feel the weight of your body pressing into the stone floor or into the seat you occupy. Feel your spine align, your shoulders drop, and your breath settle into a long, slow cadence. This is the physical architecture of peace. When you position your body for rest, your mind follows. You are constructing a temple of stillness right here in the middle of a medieval cellar, and the only requirements for entry are your presence and your willingness to let go. Reflect on the nature of the olive oil that surrounds you. It is the liquid manifestation of the sun's work over the spring and summer. It is a concentrated source of life, energy, and light. Even in the darkness of this cellar, you are surrounded by light. The oil is the fuel for the coming winter. It is the promise that the light will continue, even when the days grow short. Think of the light you carry within yourself. Think of the experiences you have gathered, the warmth you have shared, and the wisdom you have gained. These are your own reserves of light. You are not depleted, even if you feel tired. You are just in a season of gathering, a time to rest and consolidate your energy so that you too can shine when the time is right. There is no sound now except for the faint atmospheric murmur of the farmhouse, the quiet, structural settling, the muffled sigh of the night wind against the stone exterior, and the deep, echoing silence of the earth. These sounds are the lullaby of history. They tell you that you are safe, that you are part of a continuous living thread of humanity, and that you are allowed to rest. The work of the day is finished, the harvest is secure, the house is watching over you. All that remains is for you to drift, to let the edges of your awareness blur, and to sink into the deep, dark, and utterly comforting embrace of the night. You are held, you are at peace, you are finally completely home. The air within the farmhouse cellar has become entirely still, a thick, cool blanket that wraps around you as you rest in the heart of the Tuscan night. The intensity of the harvest season has yielded to this moment of profound, singular quiet. where the only movement is the slow rhythmic cooling of the stones and the faint rhythmic pulse of the night. You have journeyed deep into the stillness, bypassing the layers of your own worries and the complex demands of your life until you have reached this core of absolute peace. The stone arches, once sturdy supports for a productive room, now feel like the ribs of a great protective beast that has laid down to sleep. You are safe within its embrace, shielded from the vast, indifferent expanse of the night sky by thick walls that hold the steady, enduring memory of the land. Consider the texture of the air itself. It is rich, almost heavy, with the lingering essence of the crushed olives. It is a smell that transcends the physical, acting as a bridge to a simpler, more elemental time. You are not just smelling fruit, you are smelling the sun, the rain, the mineral content of the limestone, and the dedication of the hands that tended the trees. This is a sensory memory that connects you to the earth in a way that modern life often denies. By inhaling this air, you are grounding yourself, anchoring your spirit to the very soil of Tuscany. You are becoming part of the landscape, no longer an observer, but a participant in the deep, slow-moving rhythm of the farm. The floor beneath you is cool and unyielding, a surface that refuses to accommodate your tension and instead demands that you yield to it. When you feel the solidity of the sandstone against your back, your body naturally begins to mimic that stillness. The subtle, constant presence of the earth beneath the floor reminds you that you are fundamentally safe. This earth has stood for millennia and will remain long after the farmhouse has turned back to dust. It is the ultimate foundation, the bedrock upon which all our fleeting, fragile human stories are written. To feel that solidity is to feel a deep, primordial relief, a sense that, no matter what happens, the ground beneath you will hold. Think about the oil lamps, which have now burned down to mere embers of light. They have performed their service well, guiding the process through the evening and creating a space of warmth where before there was only a cavernous, dark cellar. Now, they are flickering out, their job finished. In this, they are like the final moments of your day. You have performed your own services, you have met your responsibilities, navigated your challenges, and contributed your own energy to the world. Now, like the lamps, you are allowed to dim. You are allowed to stop emitting light and instead begin to absorb the darkness, letting it refill your reserves. There is no shame in this. The cycle of the light requires the cycle of the dark, and your rest is just as important as your work. The silence here is not empty. It is pregnant with the history of the house. If you listen with your intuition, you can hear the faint, lingering echoes of the people who worked here 7 centuries ago. You can sense their presence, the quiet satisfaction of a successful harvest, the exhaustion after a long day of labor, the simple joy of having enough to see the family through the winter. You are walking in their footsteps, and in doing so you are finding the same comforts they found. This connection to the past is a source of profound perspective. It shows you that your struggles are part of a timeless pattern, and that the rest you are finding is a universal, essential human need. As you drift deeper into the night, the distinction between your own breathing and the structural breathing of the farmhouse continues to fade. The house settles, the wood creaks, and the stone holds fast. These are the sounds of a life that is in harmony with its purpose. When you hear them, let them serve as a rhythm for your own surrender. Let your breath become shallow, let your heart beat slow, and let your consciousness expand until it fills the space of the cellar. You are no longer you in the sense of a person with a history and a future. You are an extension of this quiet room, a part of the stone, the oil, and the harvest. You are complete, you are sufficient, and you are at peace. There is nothing left to wait for. The work of the day is entirely concluded. The harvest is stored, the cellar is secure, and the farmhouse is in its deepest state of rest. You are fully supported, not just by the stone beneath you, but by the entire history and purpose of this place. The world outside will wake up eventually, the sun will rise over the hills, and the cycle will begin again. But that is a story for another time. Right now there is only the dark, the cool, the scent of the earth, and the feeling of absolute unburdened safety. You are drifting into the deep, quiet waters of sleep, carried along by the slow, steady current of the Tuscan night. Everything is well, everything is quiet, everything is at rest. The farmhouse stands in the middle of the Tuscan night like a bastion of ancient tranquility, its thick stone walls acting as a barrier against the infinite cooling expanse of the surrounding hills. Inside the cellar, the silence is so dense it feels almost like a physical weight, one that is entirely comforting and supportive. You are resting in a place where the frenetic energy of the modern world has been utterly stripped away, replaced by the profound elemental rhythm of the harvest. The architecture here, characterized by its sturdy stone arches and the cool, damp texture of the masonry, creates a sense of permanence that is deeply reassuring. In the year 1340, this space was the heart of the farmhouse's survival. Today, it is the heart of your own recovery. Every stone has been placed with intent, and every corner of this room is steeped in a history of purposeful, quiet labor that honors the earth and its bounty. As you remain in this space, let your awareness settle on the cooling sensation of the air. It is not merely the temperature, it is the quality of the air, thick with the memory of the olive harvest, a subtle, spicy and fruity aroma that acts as a soothing balm to your senses. Breathe this in, and as you do, imagine that you're inhaling the very stability of the farmhouse. You are drawing in the history, the endurance, and the peaceful resolution of a successful season. With every exhale, release the accumulated noise and tension of your life. Imagine the stone walls absorbing that energy, pulling it out of your body and grounding it into the deep, dark soil beneath the cellar floor. You are becoming as neutral, as calm, and as steady as the stones themselves. Consider the immense, slow-moving scale of time that this farmhouse represents. While we often measure our days in minutes and hours, this room measures them in cycles of the sun, in the growth of trees that live for centuries, and in the patient, methodical pressing of the harvest. This perspective is a gift. It reminds you that your own life is part of a much longer, grander progression. The pressures you feel right now are temporary. The anxieties you hold are like the mist over the hills in the morning. They will dissipate. By being here, you are stepping out of your own timeline and into the timeline of the land. This shift provides a profound sense of relief. You are no longer the one who needs to manage the future. You are simply an inhabitant of the present, safely held by a structure that has seen much more than you ever will. The lighting in the room has reached its final dim manifestation. There is no longer a glow so much as a softening of the darkness, a subtle transition that encourages the eyes to stop searching and start feeling. This darkness is your ally. It is a space of pure potential, a place where you can safely discard the masks you wear in the light of day. In the dark, there is no one to perform for, no one to impress, and no one to judge. You are entirely your own. You are a soul resting in the dark, and that is a condition of perfect, unburdened grace. The farmhouse is watching over you, and the history of the land is shielding you. There is nothing to fear in this stillness. Reflect on the nature of the olive oil that was gathered today. It is the result of a long seasonal labor, from the spring blooms to the summer growth, and finally the autumn collection. It represents the conversion of sunlight into life. In your own journey, think of what you have converted into oil. Think of the experiences you have endured, the lessons you have absorbed, and the love you have given. These are your harvests. Even if you feel tired, even if you feel as though your energy is low, know that you have stored up wealth within your spirit. You are not empty, you are simply resting, waiting for the cycle to turn so you can use that energy again. Right now, your only duty is to rest and let that harvest settle within you. The soundscape of the cellar, the quiet settling of the stone, the soft, distant rustle of the night air, and the absolute absence of mechanical noise creates a sanctuary of sound that is inherently relaxing. If you focus on these minute details, you will find that your brain naturally begins to slow down its processing. The constant, rapid-fire chatter of your internal monologue is being replaced by the soothing, low-frequency hum of the building. This is the sound of home. It is the sound of a place that is functioning exactly as it was meant to. Let this sound wash over you. Let it fill the spaces in your mind where worry used to live. You are becoming synchronized with the farmhouse, and that synchronization is the gateway to the deep, dreamless sleep that you so richly deserve. As the night continues to stretch out, allow yourself to feel completely at home in this darkness. There is no urgency to be anywhere else, There is no need to anticipate the morning. The farmhouse will still be here when you wake, the stone will still be cool, and the sense of peace will still be waiting for you. You have done enough for today. You have navigated the complexities of your world, and you have found your way to this place of rest. You are safe. You are cared for. The night is doing its work to restore you, and you are allowing it to do so with complete trust. Let go, drift further, and disappear into the absolute, perfect quiet of the Tuscan hills. Everything is at peace. Everything is at rest. The deep, cool embrace of the subterranean cellar is now the only reality you recognize. The farmhouse has surrendered to the profound quiet of the late night, and in this suspension of time you find yourself at the very center of tranquility. The stone arches, carved with the rough beauty of medieval craftsmanship, stand as silent guardians over your rest. There is a weight to the silence here that feels substantial, as if it were a physical layer of insulation protecting you from the turbulence of any other time or place. You are nestled in the bedrock of the Tuscan hills, and the earth itself seems to be breathing in slow, measured cycles, creating a sanctuary that is as natural as a cave and as secure as a fortress. The air is cool, carrying the lingering earthy perfume of the olive harvest, a scent that has permeated these stones over centuries, a testament to the cycles of life that this room has witnessed. We invite you to make this space of restorative peace a permanent part of your journey toward wellness. If you find yourself returning to this story, to these ancient stone walls, and to the soothing rhythm of the farmhouse, we encourage you to subscribe or follow our channel. By joining the community at Sleepy History with Theodore, you are ensuring that you will always have a direct path back to this sanctuary. Your support is vital. It helps us curate these moments of historical tranquility, blending the power of imagination and technology to create stories that bring inspiration, deep rest, and positive emotional values to your life. Every interaction, every moment you spend in this space is a testament to the importance of the slow, the steady, and the deeply, fundamentally peaceful. Consider the rhythm of the farmhouse during these quiet hours. It is a slow, steady pulse that has nothing to do with the frenetic clocks of our own age. This is the rhythm of the land, of the ripening fruit, and of the seasonal turning of the year. When you align your own internal rhythm with this, you stop feeling the pressure to achieve or to complete. You stop feeling that your value is tied to your productivity. Instead, you enter a state of being where your existence alone is sufficient. The oil has been gathered, the jars are filled, and the work is done. These facts in themselves create a sense of completion that flows into you, filling you with a deep, quiet satisfaction. You are allowed to stop, and in that stopping you become whole. The darkness of the cellar is no longer a void, it is a soft, supportive substance, a velvet layer that wraps around you. In the dim, final glow of the oil lamps, the room appears almost to be breathing. Shadows shift with a gentle, hypnotic fluidity, casting patterns against the rough-hewn stone that evoke a sense of ancient peace. You are not meant to see clearly here, you are meant to feel, to listen, and to sink. This is the realm of the subconscious, the place where we go to heal the parts of ourselves that the daylight forgets. By allowing your eyes to soften, you are inviting your mind to do the same. Let the sharpness of your thoughts dissolve into the shadows. Let the specific worries of your day become indistinct, like distant memories of a life that belongs to someone else. Think of the strength of the stone walls. They have withstood storms, they have withstood the passage of centuries, and they have withstood the countless, quiet efforts of the people who have walked these floors. They are symbols of resilience, and as you sit in their presence, you can absorb that quality for yourself. You do not need to be hard or defensive to be resilient. You simply need to be grounded, to be steady, and to be willing to wait for the storm to pass. This farmhouse is a masterclass in waiting. It does not fight the winter, it prepares for it. It does not fight the passage of time, it builds structures that honor it. You are learning that same lesson, that the most powerful thing you can do is to hold your ground, breathe, and trust in the cycle of your own life. The coolness on your skin is a constant, gentle reminder of where you are. It is the coolness of the earth, the temperature of the deep soil. It feels clean, refreshing, and deeply soothing. When you feel it, let it draw you further into the present moment. Feel the weight of your body pressing into the stone floor or into the seat you occupy. Feel your spine align, your shoulders drop, and your breath settle into a long, slow cadence. This is the physical architecture of peace. When you position your body for rest, your mind follows. You are constructing a temple of stillness right here in the middle of a medieval cellar, and the only requirements for entry are your presence and your willingness to let go. Reflect on the nature of the olive oil that surrounds you. It is the liquid manifestation of the sun's work over the spring and summer. It is a concentrated source of life, energy, and light. Even in the darkness of this cellar, you are surrounded by light. The oil is the fuel for the coming winter. It is the promise that the light will continue, even when the days grow short. Think of the light you carry within yourself. Think of the experiences you have gathered, the warmth you have shared, and the wisdom you have gained. These are your own reserves of light. You are not depleted even if you feel tired. You are just in a season of gathering, a time to rest and consolidate your energy so that you too can shine when the time is right. There is no sound now except for the faint atmospheric murmur of the farmhouse, the quiet structural settling, the muffled sigh of the night wind against the stone exterior, and the deep echoing silence of the earth. These sounds are the lullaby of history. They tell you that you are safe, that you are part of a continuous living thread of humanity, and that you are allowed to rest. The work of the day is finished, the harvest is secure, the house is watching over you. All that remains is for you to drift, to let the edges of your awareness blur, and to sink into the deep, dark, and utterly comforting embrace of the night. You are held, you are at peace, you are finally completely home. The profound stillness of the farmhouse cellar has reached its zenith, a moment of absolute equilibrium where the past and the present seem to fold into one another. You are suspended in this timeless pocket, shielded by walls that have not known a day of true exhaustion in nearly 7 centuries. The air is cool, crisp, and remarkably clean, carrying the faint, lingering essence of the harvest, a scent that has become a fundamental part of your internal landscape. This room, with its vaulted stone ceiling and the sturdy, unyielding floor, is more than just a structure. It is a repository of peace. It is the place where the efforts of the season are brought to their quiet, successful conclusion, and you are the honored witness to this final, tranquil act of gathering. As you rest here, you find that your own spirit begins to mirror the stability of the surroundings. You are letting go of the need to be elsewhere, to be doing something else, or to be someone other than who you are in this very moment. Observe how your breathing has completely synchronized with the low-frequency rhythm of the house. It is a slow, deep, and rhythmic inhalation and exhalation that mirrors the way the farmhouse itself seems to settle into the earth as the night advances. There is a great power in this synchronization. By letting go of the erratic, forced pace of modern life, you are reclaiming your ability to exist at a natural human tempo. You are discovering that you don't need to be fast to be strong, nor do you need to be noisy to be present. The farmhouse, in all its silent, stone-hewn strength, is teaching you the value of being still, being quiet, and being ready to endure the coming winter with grace and patience. Think about the endurance of the olive tree again, a tree that survives on the rocky, thin soil of the Tuscan hills, drawing its strength from the very depths of the earth and producing fruit even in the most demanding conditions. You are learning to tap into that same wellspring of resilience. Whatever you have faced, whatever hurdles you have cleared, and whatever weight you have carried, you have brought it all to this place of restoration. You are in the process of conversion, just as the olives are converted into oil. You are transforming your experiences into wisdom, your efforts into rest, and your burdens into a light, airy state of being. This is the alchemy of the cellar. It is the magic of the sanctuary. It is the work that happens when you finally stop working. The darkness has now enveloped the room entirely, save for the faintest, most comforting amber flicker that occasionally pulses from the spent lamp. It is a soft, non-intrusive light, like the embers of a dying fire that still holds a memory of the warmth. In this low light, your mind is invited to wander through the landscape of your own peace. You are not meant to focus on detail, you are meant to drift. You are meant to feel the texture of the silence and to notice the way your heart rate matches the steady, rhythmic pulse of the cellar. Everything is aligned, everything is quiet, everything is in its place. The feeling of being at home in the world is, for this moment, yours to keep. Reflect on the collective humanity that has passed through these walls. You are part of an unbroken line of people who have found comfort in the simple act of finishing their work and resting in the presence of what they have cultivated. You are linked to the past not by grand events, but by these small universal truths: the need for shelter, the need for community, and the need for a place to recover one's strength. By being here, you are participating in a tradition that is as human as it is historical. You are validating the experiences of those who came before you, and in return, they are offering you a place in their sanctuary. You are not alone. You are carried by the history of this place, supported by the strength of its design, and nurtured by the peace that it has carefully preserved for you. As you drift further into the stillness, consider the immense gratitude that can be found in this state of rest. You have the ability to feel this calm, to recognize this sanctuary, and to allow yourself the time to inhabit it. This is a profound gift. In a world that is so often characterized by motion and demand, you have chosen to be still. You have chosen to honor your own humanity by stepping back from the demands of the day and allowing yourself to be held by the quiet. This choice is a form of self-love that is as essential as any labor. It is the restoration of your soul, the recalibration of your spirit, and the preparation for your own eventual and inevitable flourishing. There is truly nothing left to do. The jar is full, the press is stilled, and the night is deep and vast. The Tuscan hills are slumbering, and the farmhouse is in its deepest, most peaceful state. You are caught in the gentle descending spiral of sleep, a soft, comfortable drift that takes you away from the need to think, the need to speak, and the need to exist in anything other than this moment. Let the weight of your body vanish. Let the boundaries of the room expand until they are as wide as the night sky. Let go of the last lingering threads of your daily life. You are perfectly, safely, and beautifully at rest. The silence is yours, the peace is yours, the night is yours. The farmhouse remains a bastion of absolute, unshakable peace as the night reaches its deepest, most velvety point. Inside the cellar, the air is not just cool, it is alive with the subtle, lingering scent of the earth and the harvest, a fragrance that has become the very atmosphere of your sanctuary. Every breath you take is a deliberate act of restoration, pulling in the quietude of the stone walls and exhaling the last echoes of the day's obligations here. In the subterranean silence, you are shielded from the ceaseless motion of the world outside. The thickness of the stone, the precision of the architecture, and the long, slow history of the valley create an environment where time does not just slow down, it ceases to matter altogether. You are existing in a state of grace where the only requirement is to be present, to be still, and to be receptive to the calm that permeates every fiber of this space. Consider the significance of the stone floor, that vast, cool expanse that grounds you in this reality. It is the literal foundation of your farmhouse, the anchor that holds this entire structure steady against the shifting winds and the turning seasons. When you feel its unwavering support, you are reminded that you too have a foundation, a core of strength that is not defined by your successes or failures, but by your existence. Like the foundation of the house, your inner strength is constant, unchanging, and always there to support you. You do not need to build it or maintain it with constant effort. You only need to acknowledge it. In this place of rest, you are invited to let go of the need to be more or to do more. You are at this moment exactly enough. The foundation is holding you. The earth is cradling you. You are held. The rhythmic sound of the cellar is now more internal than external. It is a slow, pulsing hum that matches the vibration of the stone, a deep, resonant sound that feels as if it is coming from the center of the earth itself. If you listen closely, you can hear the heartbeat of the house, the faint structural sighs of ancient wood, the gentle settling of mortar, and the muffled rhythm of the wind as it brushes against the exterior walls. These are not interruptions, they are the lullaby of history, a song of endurance and stability that has been played for 700 years. To listen to this song is to be invited into the history of this place, to be counted among the many who have found their own peace within these walls. You are part of the lineage of the quiet. Think of the olive oil as a symbol of your own internal light, the essence of all that you have gathered and cultivated throughout your journey. This light is not extinguished by the darkness of the night. It is merely waiting for the right time to shine. Just as the oil provides the fuel for the lamps that keep the winter dark at bay, your own wisdom and experience provide the fuel for your resilience. You have navigated so much to get here, and you have arrived with your spirit intact, your capacity for joy undiminished, and your ability to find peace fully realized. This is the harvest of your life. It is something of value, something to be protected, and something to be deeply, profoundly cherished. You are the steward of your own light. The darkness of the room has become your closest companion. It is a soft, non-judgmental presence that encourages you to stop striving and to start simply being. There is no longer a need for vision in the traditional sense. You are seeing with your spirit now, navigating the landscape of your own inner peace. The shadows are not to be feared, they are the contours of your own rest, the shapes that your relaxation has taken as it fills the room. By letting your eyes close, you are closing the door on the external world and opening the door to the infinite possibilities of your own stillness. You are drifting into a state of consciousness that is as deep, as dark, and as refreshing as the deep water of a mountain spring. As you linger in this state, reflect on the importance of the sanctuary you have created. It is not a place you have visited, but a place you have become. By spending this time in the farmhouse, by soaking in its silence, and by honoring its history, you have internalized its peace. You are carrying this stone cellar within you, a private, secure, and always available refuge. When the world outside becomes loud, when the demands of your life feel overwhelming, and when the pace of your reality threatens to outrun your ability to keep up, you can return to this place. You can close your eyes, feel the cool stone, and breathe the scent of the harvest. You can step out of time and into this sanctuary whenever you need to. The door is always open, the farmhouse is always waiting. Everything has now reached a state of perfect resolution. The work of the day is done, the harvest is secure, and you have arrived at the final, beautiful, and silent conclusion of your journey tonight. There is nothing left to achieve, nothing left to worry about, and nothing left to do. The night is doing its work to restore you. The earth is doing its work to support you, and the house is doing its work to protect you. You are free to let go. You are free to drift. You are free to disappear into the depths of the quiet, safe in the knowledge that you are exactly where you need to be. The silence is your partner now, guiding you into the deepest, most restorative sleep you have ever known. All is quiet. All is well. You are completely, perfectly at rest. The night has settled over the Tuscan countryside like a heavy velvet cloak, and inside the subterranean depths of the farmhouse, the silence has deepened into something almost sacred. You are cradled within the ancient, cooling stone, a space that has been tempered by centuries of patient, methodical use. The air here remains perfectly consistent, a cool and stable medium that carries the lingering, earthy perfume of the olive harvest, acting as a constant, gentle reminder of the land's enduring cycle. Everything in this room has a purpose, from the heavy, rough-hewn timbers of the press that stand as silent sentinels, to the porous, cooling walls that seem to inhale the ambient noise of the outside world and exhale nothing but stillness. You have moved beyond the need for words or analysis. You are existing within a sensory experience that is designed for one thing only: the complete and utter restoration of your spirit. Consider the profound, unhurried nature of this place. In 1340, there was no concept of time as a commodity to be spent or saved. There was only the sun's arc, the seasonal shift, and the necessary labor required to sustain life. By immersing yourself in this historical perspective, you are shedding the anxieties of your own century, the pressure to be productive, the fear of missing out, and the crushing weight of endless digital connectivity all evaporate in the face of this absolute grounded reality. Here, the only currency is the quality of your presence. You are not required to do anything. You are not expected to be anywhere. You are simply a witness to the stillness, and in that witness, you are becoming quiet yourself. This is the ultimate necessary luxury, the permission to stop being a human doing and to reclaim the state of being a human being. Let your focus settle on the floor, the massive slabs of sandstone that constitute the bedrock of this building. They are cold, solid, and incredibly reassuring. As you feel the weight of your body pressing against them, imagine that you are shedding all the tension you have held throughout the day. Like water flowing into a reservoir, let your stress, your fatigue, and your uncertainties drain from your limbs into the stones. The earth will absorb it all. It is vast and it has an infinite capacity for the messy, heavy energies of human life. You are not dumping your worries into the environment. You are returning them to the earth, which has the power to transmute them into something that supports growth. Feel the tension leaving your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, and your lower back. You are becoming as light, as fluid, and as calm as the air within the cellar. The lighting in the room has now diminished to the point where it is almost indistinguishable from the shadows. There is a single faint pulse of amber light from the final wick of the oil lamp, a tiny glowing heart in the center of the dark. This light is an anchor for your consciousness. As you watch it flicker, allow your eyes to lose their focus. You are not trying to see, you are trying to feel. When you embrace the darkness, you are embracing the unknown, and there is a surprising deep relief in not needing to know what lies around the corner. You are in a safe place, a place where you are known, protected, and fully supported by the history of the house. Let the darkness wrap around you, not as a blanket, but as a soft protective shell. Reflect on the nature of the harvest. You have been gathering experiences all your life, the joys, the challenges, the triumphs, and the quiet moments of sorrow. Each of these is a fruit that has been ripened by the sun and gathered by the seasons of your journey, in the press of your own mind. You are turning these experiences into the oil of wisdom. It is the fuel for your inner light. When you feel drained, return to this image. Remember that you have stored up a lifetime of strength, a reservoir of wisdom, and a depth of character that cannot be touched by the daily grind. You are a vessel of experience, and right now you are in the perfect environment to process, to refine, and to settle into that wisdom. You are doing important work just by being here, just by allowing your spirit to be still. Listen to the sounds of the cellar. They are the sounds of a house that is at ease with itself. The slow structural groans of the wood, the subtle shift of the masonry as the temperature drops, and the low distant hum of the world outside all blend into a singular, hypnotic rhythm. It is a rhythm that asks nothing of you but that you match it. Let your pulse slow, let your breathing find that deep, resonant and diaphragmatic pattern that signifies absolute safety. You are becoming a part of the house, an extension of the very architecture of peace. The longer you stay, the more you realize that this stillness is not a temporary state. It is your natural state. You are returning to who you were before the world told you who to be. As the night continues to hold you, let go of any remaining expectations you have for yourself. There is no tomorrow to plan for yet. There is only this, the perfect, quiet, and timeless present. You have navigated the day with grace, and you have arrived here at this sanctuary as a reward for your efforts. Everything is quiet, everything is safe, and everything is in its place. The farmhouse is protecting you, the earth is cradling you, and the history of this place is singing a soft, wordless lullaby that is guiding you into the deepest, most restorative sleep of your life. Let the final remnants of your thoughts dissolve into the cool, dark air. Let the peace of the Tuscan hills fill your heart. You are held, you are cherished, and you are finally, truly, and completely at home in the quiet. The farmhouse has entered that profound hour of the night, when the boundary between the physical structure and the surrounding Tuscan hills feels increasingly porous. You are resting at the very nexus of this ancient sanctuary, where the deep, cool air carries the scent of stone, olive wood, and the distant silver-dusted fields that have been silent for hours. The cellar, carved with the rough precision of medieval stonemasons, feels less like a room and more like a protective shell, a chamber designed specifically to hold the peace of the world inside its walls. As you lie in the stillness, you become aware of the sheer density of that peace. It is not merely an absence of noise, but a presence that wraps around you with the comfort of a heavy hand-woven blanket. You are shielded here. The pressures of 2026, the expectations of your daily life, and the relentless speed of the modern world are millions of miles away, locked out by the massive mortared stone of this foundation. Consider the deliberate pace of this environment. In the year 1340, human life was inextricably linked to the natural cadence of the land. There was no light to banish the night, so the night was honored as a time of true, deep rest. There was no machine to accelerate the harvest, so the harvest was performed with a rhythmic bodily awareness that kept the worker connected to the source of their sustenance. By spending this time here, you are reclaiming that connection. You are learning to exist at the speed of human movement and natural cycles. When you feel the weight of your own body settling into the floor, you are not just relaxing, you are grounding your nervous system to the earth, finding a stability that cannot be shaken by the fleeting anxieties of the outside world. The atmosphere in the cellar is so calm that you can almost feel the air itself vibrating with the history of the place. Think of the generations of hands that have touched these stones, the farmers who labored here, the families who sought shelter during the long winters, the children who played in the shadows, and the travelers who found a warm hearth above and a quiet place to store their provisions below. You are part of this long, unbroken chain. Their peace is your peace. The stability they relied on is the same stability that holds you now. This realization is incredibly powerful. It suggests that you are never truly alone, that you are part of a massive, historical continuity that is inherently designed to protect and sustain life. When you are here, you are safe because you are held by the collective, quiet endurance of all who have rested in this place before. The lighting in the room has reached its final dim manifestation. The oil lamp, which has been your quiet companion throughout the harvest work, is now little more than a golden, pulsing heart at the center of the dark. This light is an anchor, a beacon of safety that reminds you that even in the deepest darkness, there is always a source of warmth and hope. As the light flickers, let your own mind flicker with it, moving away from the sharp, analytical thoughts that dominate your day and into the soft, intuitive and wandering thoughts of the late night. There is no need to resolve anything right now. There is no need to make decisions. The only task you have is to allow your mind to wander through the landscape of this cellar, finding rest in the shadows and comfort in the stillness. Reflect on the nature of the olive oil that was gathered today. It is the liquid manifestation of the sun's work over the spring and summer, a concentrated source of life, energy, and light. Even in the darkness of this cellar, you are surrounded by this light. Think of the oil you have gathered in your own life, the wisdom you have built through experience, the resilience you have forged through adversity, and the love you have cultivated in your relationships. These are your reserves. They are the golden stores that sustain you when the winter comes. Even if you feel tired or depleted, know that your true self is not empty. You are simply in a season of collection and rest, waiting for the cycle to turn so that you can bring your own unique light back to the world. You have plenty, you are whole. The silence here is not empty, it is resonant. If you listen with your intuition, you can hear the faint, lingering echoes of the farmhouse settling into the night. It is a series of low, structural sounds, a groaning beam, a shifting stone, the whisper of air through the small, slit-like windows high in the cellar walls. These are the sounds of a life that is in harmony with its purpose. When you hear them, let them serve as a rhythm for your own surrender. Let your breath become shallow, let your heartbeat slow, and let your consciousness expand until it fills the space of the cellar. You are no longer you in the sense of a person with a history and a future. You are an extension of this quiet room, a part of the stone, the oil, and the harvest. You are complete, you are sufficient, and you are at peace. There is nothing left to wait for. The work of the day is entirely concluded. The harvest is stored, the cellar is secure, and the farmhouse is in its deepest state of rest. You are fully supported, not just by the stone beneath you, but by the entire history and purpose of this place. The world outside will wake up eventually. The sun will rise over the hills and the cycle will begin again. But that is a story for another time. Right now there is only the dark, the cool, the scent of the earth, and the feeling of absolute unburdened safety. You are drifting into the deep, quiet waters of sleep, carried along by the slow, steady current of the Tuscan night. Everything is well. Everything is quiet. Everything is at rest. You have found your way back to the center of your own peace. The cellar has descended into a state of profound, absolute stillness, a quiet so deep and so ancient that it feels as though the farmhouse itself is holding its breath alongside you. The stone walls, which have stood as guardians of this sanctuary for centuries, seem to draw closer in the darkness, wrapping you in a protective, cool embrace that defies the passage of the outside world. Outside, the Tuscan hills are bathed in the silver, spectral light of the moon. But here, in the heart of the stone, you are shielded from all of that. You are in the belly of the earth, in a place designed for the preservation of life's most precious resources, and tonight that resource is you. The air is remarkably clean, carrying the faint, sweet and peppery notes of the freshly pressed olive oil, a scent that has permeated every pore of this room, anchoring you to the earth and the cycle of the seasons. You are breathing in history, breathing in the quietude of 1,000 nights before this one, and with every breath, you feel your own rhythm slowing down to match the immense tectonic pace of the stone. Consider the feeling of weight. We often carry so much, the weight of our responsibilities, the weight of our past, the weight of the expectations we place upon ourselves. In this cellar, however, weight takes on a new meaning. It is the weight of the stone floor beneath you, the weight of the thick vaulted ceiling above you, and the comforting, immovable weight of the earth that surrounds this farmhouse. When you let your own body go heavy, when you stop trying to stand tall or hold yourself together, you are not collapsing, you are settling. You are finding your place in the structure of the world. You are becoming as stable as the cellar itself. Notice how your limbs feel as though they are sinking into the cool, dark sand of the earth. This is the ultimate relaxation, the state of being so fully supported that you no longer have to exert any effort just to exist. You are held, you are safe, you are part of the foundation. The light of the oil lamp has finally passed into memory, leaving behind a darkness so soft and thick that it feels like a physical presence. This is the dark of the forest, the dark of the deep well, the dark of the womb, a space of pure, unadulterated comfort. In the modern world, we are conditioned to fear the dark, to fill every corner with light and every silence with sound. But here you are discovering that the dark is the most honest space you will ever occupy. It asks nothing of you. It does not demand that you see, that you perform, or that you justify your presence. In the dark, you are free to be the person you are when no one is watching. You are free to be the person who is simply tired, simply in need of rest, and simply human. This is the beauty of the farmhouse. It provides the shelter you need to return to your truest self. Think about the olive tree once more, that ancient, gnarled, and resilient sentinel of the hillside. It has survived drought, heat, cold, and the pruning of the ages, and yet it continues to reach toward the sky and bear fruit. You are that tree. You have survived the pruning of your own life, the seasons of difficulty, and the long, arid stretches of struggle. And like the tree, you have developed a deep, complex root system that keeps you anchored. This cellar is a place to nourish those roots. It is a place to let the nutrients of the earth, the silence, the cool air, the history, and the profound peace flow into you. You are in a state of deep metabolic recovery. You are rebuilding the very essence of your being, and you don't need to do a single thing to make it happen. Just lie here. Just be here. Just let the peace do its work. The silence is now so complete that you can hear the very rhythm of the house as it settles into the night. It is a series of low, deep sounds, the quiet, structural groan of a heavy wooden beam shifting, the soft, rhythmic sighs of the stone as it releases the heat of the day, and the faint, almost imperceptible vibration of the earth itself. These sounds are the pulse of the farmhouse. They are telling you that everything is in order, that the harvest is finished, that the house is secure, and that you are protected within its heart. If you find your mind wandering, simply count these small structural sounds. Let them be the metronome for your heart rate. Let them be the guide for your breathing. You are being lulled by the building, cradled by the history, and carried by the silence. Reflect on the idea that you're not in this farmhouse. The farmhouse is in you. The peace you feel here, the sense of safety, the connection to the cycle of the earth, and the stillness of your own spirit, these are not things that disappear when you leave. You are building a reservoir of these feelings within yourself. You are constructing an inner sanctuary, a place of stone and shadow that you can visit whenever the world becomes too loud. Every moment you spend here, every breath you take in this cool, aromatic air, is a brick in the wall of your own resilience. You are creating a fortress of peace within your own mind, one that you can always return to, no matter how chaotic the external world may become. You are always only one breath away from this room. The night is vast and beautiful, and you are currently at the very center of its quietest, most peaceful point. There is nothing left to hold on to. The tasks of the day are fully behind you, like footsteps on a long, winding path. You have traveled far to get here, and now you have arrived at the destination of rest. There is no tomorrow to consider. The sun is many hours away, and the world can wait. The farmhouse is watching over you with the steady, unblinking gaze of 7 centuries. You are safe in the dark, held in the cool, and wrapped in the infinite, gentle peace of the Tuscan hills. Let the last of your thoughts fade away like smoke. Let the heaviness of your body lead you into the dark, welcoming abyss of sleep. You are finally perfectly at rest. Everything is well. You are home. The subterranean chamber has become a world unto itself, a pocket of infinite stillness anchored deep beneath the rolling, moon-drenched hills of Tuscany. The atmosphere is so profoundly quiet that you can perceive the subtle shifts in the air as the stone walls slowly release the lingering warmth of the day, replacing it with the sharp, refreshing chill of the mountain night. This is not a cold that bites, it is a cool that clarifies, a temperature that invites you to pull your thoughts inward, away from the expansive, demanding reaches of the outside world and into the concentrated core of your own being. You are lying, or perhaps sitting, in the absolute center of this sanctuary, and the sensation is one of being completely enclosed and protected. The farmhouse, with its centuries-old masonry and its deep earthen foundation, is a guardian that knows exactly what you need. It does not ask for your attention, it does not demand your labor, and it certainly does not require you to be anything other than what you are right now, a soul in need of deep, restorative rest. Consider the architecture of this piece. Every stone in this room was placed with the intention of providing a secure place for the bounty of the harvest. The men and women who built this place in the 14th century understood, perhaps better than we do, the vital importance of the cycle of rest. They knew that after the intense, back-breaking work of the autumn harvest, the land, the household, and the spirit all required a period of absolute stillness to regenerate. By coming here, you are participating in that same ancient wisdom. You are allowing yourself to fall into the same restorative rhythm. When you feel your muscles soften, when you feel the tension in your chest release, and when you feel your breath deepen, you are simply following the natural biological imperative of the human spirit. You are not losing time. You are investing it in your own well-being. Think about the olive oil that surrounds you in the silent dark. It is the lifeblood of the farm, the stored sunlight of the entire year, and the precious substance that will keep the lamps lit and the hearth warm through the long, dark winter months. This oil represents the potential for survival, the ability to endure, and the promise of future warmth in your own life. You have also been gathering resources, the challenges you have navigated, the patience you have learned, and the wisdom you have accrued are all part of your own oil. They are the substances that sustain your inner fire. Even if you feel weary, know that you are not running on empty. You are simply in a state of consolidation. You are resting in the presence of your own harvest, letting the experiences of your life settle into their proper places, and allowing the essence of your journey to nourish you from the inside out. The darkness is no longer something that resides outside of you. It has become a soft, enveloping layer of your own consciousness. When you close your eyes, the boundaries of the room seem to dissolve, and you find yourself floating in a vast, calm sea of silence. This is the ultimate freedom in this state. There are no expectations, no deadlines, and no social roles to play. You are just a consciousness existing in a beautiful, ancient space. The stress that once defined your days now feels like a distant, irrelevant memory, something that belongs to a person you used to be, not the person who is resting here tonight. You have successfully detached from the demands of your timeline and have entered a timeless space where only peace exists. This is a skill you have mastered, and it is a skill you can rely on whenever you need to find your way back to this tranquility. Listen to the farmhouse. It is a living, breathing entity. The soft, rhythmic creaks of the timber beams in the upper floor, the subtle structural shifts of the stone foundation, and the muffled velvet sound of the night wind against the exterior masonry are the melodies of a home that is truly at rest. These are the sounds of a building that has seen everything, the rise and fall of kingdoms, the changing of seasons, and the countless individual lives that have flickered through its corridors, and yet it remains steadfast and secure. By listening to these sounds, you're connecting to that endurance. You're letting the stability of the house enter your own mind. You are becoming as unshakable as the walls themselves. You are learning that you do not need to be reactive to the world. You can simply be present, steady, and calm, no matter what is happening around you. Reflect on the nature of home. We often think of home as a physical place, a structure of bricks and mortar, but here, in the heart of this Tuscan cellar, you are learning a deeper truth. Home is a state of internal alignment. Home is the ability to find a place of safety and rest within your own mind. By cultivating this sanctuary, by coming here in your thoughts, and by honoring the need for this quiet, you are building a home that you can carry with you wherever you go. You are never truly lost if you can find this room within your heart. You are never truly alone if you can feel the presence of this ancient sheltering silence. This is your foundation, this is your refuge, this is the place where you return to yourself. The night is deep, and you're currently in the most serene part of your journey. There is nothing left to do. The work is finished, the jars are filled, and the farmhouse has successfully kept you safe for another day. You have navigated the complexities of your life and arrived here, in the heart of the 14th century, as a reward for your efforts. Let the last lingering threads of your daily routine unravel. Let your thoughts turn into soft, indistinct shapes. Let your body sink into the cool, firm support of the floor, and let your spirit drift into the quiet, dark, and utterly comforting embrace of sleep. You are safe. You are held. You are at peace. Everything is exactly as it should be, and there is nothing left for you to do but to let go and disappear into the perfect, restorative silence of the night. The farmhouse stands in the middle of the Tuscan night like a bastion of ancient tranquility, its thick stone walls acting as a barrier against the infinite, cooling expanse of the surrounding hills. Inside the cellar, the silence is so dense it feels almost like a physical weight, one that is entirely comforting and supportive. You are resting in a place where the frenetic energy of the modern world has been utterly stripped away, replaced by the profound elemental rhythm of the harvest. The architecture here, characterized by its sturdy stone arches and the cool, damp texture of the masonry, creates a sense of permanence that is deeply reassuring. In the year 1340, this space was the heart of the farmhouse's survival. Today, it is the heart of your own recovery. Every stone has been placed with intent, and every corner of this room is steeped in a history of purposeful, quiet labor that honors the earth and its bounty. As you remain in this space, let your awareness settle on the cooling sensation of the air. It is not merely the temperature, it is the quality of the air, thick with the memory of the olive harvest, a subtle, spicy and fruity aroma that acts as a soothing balm to your senses. Breathe this in, and as you do, imagine that you're inhaling the very stability of the farmhouse. You are drawing in the history, the endurance, and the peaceful resolution of a successful season. With every exhale, release the accumulated noise and tension of your life. Imagine the stone walls absorbing that energy, pulling it out of your body and grounding it into the deep, dark soil beneath the cellar floor. You are becoming as neutral, as calm, and as steady as the stones themselves. Consider the immense, slow-moving scale of time that this farmhouse represents. While we often measure our days in minutes and hours, this room measures them in cycles of the sun, in the growth of trees that live for centuries, and in the patient, methodical pressing of the harvest. This perspective is a gift. It reminds you that your own life is part of a much longer, grander progression. The pressures you feel right now are temporary. The anxieties you hold are like the mist over the hills in the morning. They will dissipate. By being here, you are stepping out of your own timeline and into the timeline of the land. This shift provides a profound sense of relief. You are no longer the one who needs to manage the future. You are simply an inhabitant of the present, safely held by a structure that has seen much more than you ever will. The lighting in the room has reached its final dim manifestation. There is no longer a glow so much as a softening of the darkness, a subtle transition that encourages the eyes to stop searching and start feeling. This darkness is your ally. It is a space of pure potential, a place where you can safely discard the masks you wear in the light of day. In the dark, there is no one to perform for, no one to impress, and no one to judge. You are entirely your own. You are a soul resting in the dark, and that is a condition of perfect, unburdened grace. The farmhouse is watching over you, and the history of the land is shielding you. There is nothing to fear in this stillness. Reflect on the nature of the olive oil that was gathered today. It is the result of a long seasonal labor, from the spring blooms to the summer growth, and finally the autumn collection. It represents the conversion of sunlight into life. In your own journey, think of what you have converted into oil. Think of the experiences you have endured, the lessons you have absorbed, and the love you have shared. These are your harvests. Even if you feel tired, even if you feel as though your energy is low, know that you have stored up wealth within your spirit. You are not empty. You are simply in a season of gathering, a time to rest and consolidate your energy so that you too can shine when the time is right. The soundscape of the cellar, the quiet settling of the stone, the soft, distant rustle of the night air, and the absolute absence of mechanical noise creates a sanctuary of sound that is inherently relaxing. If you focus on these minute details, you will find that your brain naturally begins to slow down its processing. The constant rapid-fire chatter of your internal monologue is being replaced by the soothing, low-frequency hum of the building. This is the sound of home. It is the sound of a place that is functioning exactly as it was meant to. Let this sound wash over you. Let it fill the spaces in your mind where worry used to live. You are becoming synchronized with the farmhouse, and that synchronization is the gateway to the deep, dreamless sleep that you so richly deserve. As the night continues to stretch out, allow yourself to feel completely at home in this darkness. There is no urgency to be anywhere else. There is no need to anticipate the morning. The farmhouse will still be here when you wake, the stone will still be cool, and the sense of peace will still be waiting for you. You have done enough for today. You have navigated the complexities of your world, and you have found your way to this place of rest. You are safe, you are cared for. The night is doing its work to restore you, and you are allowing it to do so with complete trust. Let go, drift further, and disappear into the absolute, perfect quiet of the Tuscan hills. Everything is at peace, everything is at rest. You have found the quiet within, and you have finally truly returned home. The stillness in this subterranean sanctuary has reached a point of near transcendence, a deep, resonant silence that seems to vibrate with the very history of the earth itself. As you remain nestled within the stone, the farmhouse around you feels less like a structure and more like a living, breathing participant in your restoration. The air is cool, carrying that faint, earthy perfume of stone and cold oil that has defined your stay in this 1/4 harvest season. There is an immense sense of security in knowing that everything required for survival has been gathered and stored, and that the long, dark nights of winter are no longer something to fear, but a time for consolidation and reflection. This same principle applies to your own life. You have worked hard, you have gathered your own harvest of lessons, accomplishments, and resilience. Now you are in the period of the seasonal turn, the time for the inner life to take precedence over the outer. You are allowed to be still just as the earth is still beneath the frost. Feel the floor beneath you, the massive, rough-cut stones that have served as the foundation for centuries. They are not merely floorboards or tiles, they are extensions of the bedrock of Tuscany, connected to the deep tectonic movements of the land. When you press your back or your feet against them, You are connecting to a power that is much older and much larger than your own immediate worries. This connection is grounding in the most literal sense. It pulls the excess energy from your mind, the anxious thoughts, the to-do lists, the hypothetical scenarios, and sinks it into the ground, where it is neutralized by the sheer immovable presence of the earth. You are becoming as solid as these foundations. The more you release, the more you realize that you're not losing yourself, but rather finding the firm, stable, and essential core of who you truly are. Consider the role of the shadows in this room. In the dim, final pulse of the lamp, the shadows have stretched into long, elegant shapes, softening the geometry of the cellar. There is nothing sharp here anymore. Everything has been rounded off by the passage of time and the gentle nature of the low light. This is a visual manifestation of how your own mind is beginning to process the day. Your thoughts are no longer sharp-edged or jagged. They are becoming soft, fluid, and indistinct. This is the desired state for true rest. You are transitioning from the world of analysis into the world of feeling. By simply allowing your gaze to blur, you are giving your brain permission to stop the ceaseless cycle of categorizing, judging, and solving, and instead to simply exist. You are sinking into the comfort of being unburdened. Think of the olive trees again standing sentinel on the hillside under the vast starlit sky. They are the architects of the wealth that fills this room. Their strength is not found in speed or movement, but in their ability to stay rooted and to turn sunlight into sustenance. You are in the process of becoming an olive tree yourself, rooted, calm, and productive in a way that respects the natural limitations of the seasons. You don't need to be in bloom all the time. You don't need to produce fruit every single day. There are times for dormancy, and this is your time. You are accumulating energy, you are hydrating your spirit, and you're preparing for the next time you will be called upon to shine. This period of rest is not a waste. It is the most productive thing you can do for your long-term vitality. The sounds of the house are now the only external stimuli left, and they have become deeply, hypnotically regular. A soft creak of a joist, the faint, distant whistle of the wind through the eaves, the rhythmic thrum of the silence itself. These are not interruptions. They are the beat of the heart of the farmhouse. If you listen closely, you can hear that heartbeat. It is a slow, methodical sound that demands nothing but your awareness. When you sync your breathing to this rhythm, you feel a profound sense of realignment. You are moving at the speed of the house, you are resting at the speed of the mountain, you are existing at the speed of the night. There is no urgency here, no pressure, and no conflict. There is only the slow, graceful progression of the hours, and you're being carried along by them as if by a gentle mountain stream. Reflect on the gift of this sanctuary. It is a place you have created, a place you have nurtured through your focus and your willingness to let go. This cellar is a physical manifestation of the internal peace you have been seeking. Every time you return here in your thoughts, you are reinforcing the neural pathways of calm. You're training your body to recognize this state of deep relaxation as a safe, natural, and accessible condition. You are, in effect, building a home within yourself that is immune to the external stresses of the world. No matter how loud or demanding the 21st century becomes, you will always have the map to this 1340 cellar. You will always be able to close your eyes, feel the cool stone, and smell the olive harvest, and in doing so return to this state of grace. The night has reached its most beautiful, quiet, and conclusive point. The harvest is stored, the jars are sealed, and the soul is finally still. As you drift into the absolute dark, you realize that you are not disappearing, you are arriving. You are shedding the heavy cloak of who you thought you had to be, to reveal the simple, radiant truth of who you actually are. Let the world fade completely. Let your consciousness dissolve into the deep velvet folds of the night. You are held by the history of this place, supported by the ancient earth, and wrapped in a peace that will stay with you long after the dawn breaks. Everything is at rest, because you have finally stopped the search. You are the seeker and the sanctuary. You are the journey and the destination. You are home. And for the first time in an age, you are finally perfectly and irrevocably at peace.
Sleepy History with Theodore is created for relaxation, entertainment, and sleep purposes. The stories shared on this channel are inspired by historical events, daily life, and real periods in history. but they may be simplified, adapted, or narrated in a calming way to enhance the listening experience. This content is not intended to be a precise academic or educational source. While we aim to stay generally accurate, some details may be altered for storytelling flow and relaxation. Please do not rely on this channel as a primary source for historical research or study. By listening, you acknowledge that this content is designed to help you unwind, relax, and fall asleep. Thank you for your understanding and support.